Every time I eat, I have to bury my food in the ground. I even end up burying my own feet as well. But after a short while, when I dig up the soil, the food inside has somehow turned to ash. And my hunger is already gone. Turns out I'm actually a tree demon disguised as a human. I thought I could quietly grow stronger while hiding in a human sect. Until one day, senior brother Lu Changshou suddenly brought the junior brothers to the Sutra Pavilion, all to look for information on life-extending medicinal ingredients. Just as I was wondering which sect elder was nearing the end of their life, Lu Changshou suddenly looked at me. Junior brother, has the sect acquired any new longevity herbs recently? Since I managed the Sutra Pavilion, I honestly replied no. They're all herbs we've had from before. But just as I finished speaking, one disciple suddenly raised the great wilderness scripture and spoke up. It says here there's a method for longevity. The other disciples quickly gathered around. Only I felt my heart skip a beat. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. That disciple read aloud from the great wilderness scripture. In the depths of the great wilderness, there is the art of immortality. Eating it can grant a person eternal life. Hearing this, I became even more fearful. I was about to distance myself from this group. But then Lu Changshou suddenly spoke up, no need to look anymore. The great wilderness is extremely dangerous. Forget about our Lingshu cave heaven. Even the top sects hardly dare to venture in easily. Let's go ask somewhere else. I watched them leave, and quietly sighed in relief. I quickly put the great wilderness scripture at the very bottom, and prayed that no one would ever take notice of me again. It's exactly the art of immortality described in the book. When I was first born, I only had the ability to take human form. It just so happened that Lingshu Cave Heaven was recruiting disciples. Not daring to wander around, I was lucky enough to be chosen. But I never imagined my spiritual root talent would be so bad. After more than a decade of cultivation, I'd only reached the late stage of the second layer. So they sent me to organize books in the library pavilion. But there were even greater dangers ahead. Even though I can live forever, as I grew, the demon aura within me became harder and harder to control. If the human cultivators ever discovered me, they'd definitely finish me off without mercy. Right now I have to raise my cultivation, to cover up my demon aura. Just when I was at my wit's end, a note brought me a huge turning point. That day, like usual, I recorded the pieces of paper delivered by each disciple. It was always so and so found such and such medicine, and what the medicine was good for, things like that. But when I opened the 10th piece of paper, the contents left me completely stunned. The Banyan spirit killed passers-by, using their flesh and blood for nourishment. It even detailed how the spirit refined flesh and blood, and its cultivation method. I suddenly fell deep in thought. Had I taken the wrong path from the very beginning? Plants and trees need fertilizer to grow strong. So maybe this tree demon needs the same. All this time, I'd been cultivating just like the humans, breathing in spiritual energy and refining it. But for some reason, my cultivation progressed very slowly. I only made note of the method for refining flesh and blood, but didn't start practicing right away. I couldn't get my hands on the nutrients yet, so I'd have to wait until next month. The sect hands out cultivation resources every month. All I have is a low-grade key refining pill. That night, I decided to try the Banyan spirit's cultivation method first. As strands of spiritual energy entered my body, I opened my eyes in excitement. It was actually twice as fast as the sect's Lingshu profound art. Turns out demons really should cultivate using demon techniques. Just as I was about to continue cultivating, suddenly I stopped dead in my tracks. A trace of demon aura had appeared on my body. And inside my danshan, the force of demon suppression clashed with the Lingshu profound art, and was instantly devoured. Unless I gave up the profound art, it was impossible to cultivate both human and demon techniques at the same time. Lying in bed, I pondered. There's no way I'm abandoning the profound art, but it's also not good to be covered in demon aura. So early the next morning, I rushed to the library pavilion. Just as I was searching for a solution, Lu Changshou suddenly found me with a book in hand. Junior brother, learn this demon language in 3 days. Why do we need to learn this? I thought maybe senior brother had discovered I was a tree demon. But instead he just smiled mysteriously. 3 days later, I'll take you to interrogate a demon cultivator, and you'll benefit from it. I breathed a sigh of relief and agreed on the spot. As long as my identity wasn't exposed, it was fine. But to my surprise, I only had to glance at the demon language book, and each character was immediately imprinted in my mind, as if I'd always known them. On the 3rd day, senior brother took me to Lin Jianfeng's prison as promised. As soon as I entered an interrogation room, he tossed down a sentence, "He's all yours." Then he turned and left. There was only one key refining cultivator, senior brother Niu, in the room. I don't know why he was assigned to interrogate a demon.
He skillfully grabbed a leopard spirit from the cell
And hung it on an iron hook in the torture chamber. The excruciating pain instantly woke the leopard spirit. It was just about to roar in anger, but was met with a merciless lashing. Niu sneered, "I suggest you settle down. That'll spare me some effort too." Senior brother Ni. It's begging for mercy. What's it saying? It says it only ate a few people. Never offended us, or a Lingshu cave heaven. Soon, under torture, the leopard spirit revealed all its cultivation methods. I wrote them all down. Niu nodded, satisfied. Now ask it why it hurt people. The leopard spirit answered honestly. I translated everything accurately. I thought maybe the leopard spirit would be released. But after hearing my translation, Niu flew into a rage and killed the spirit with a single slash. I hate demons that hurt people for no reason the most. They deserve to have their energy extracted by us. As more and more demon interrogations were completed, I discovered that no matter what kind of demon it was, they all ended up unable to resist the temptation of flesh and blood, and became murderers. In the end, Niu slaughtered them all with one strike. Right now, I could barely protect myself, so of course I didn't have time for sympathy. I wrote down all their cultivation methods. But one question formed in my mind. Why was the sect suddenly interested in demon cultivation methods? Around noon, Niu cheerfully invited me to lunch during our break. With a demon language translator, things really did get a lot easier. Before, I could never understand them no matter what. After lunch, Niu didn't interrogate any more demons. Instead, he called me over to help deal with the demon corpses. Everything useful for medicine was collected, and all the tough bones were set aside too. They could be refined for qi or something in the future. The remaining nearly useless scraps were given to me. Niu handed me a whole bucket full of flesh and blood. Take it, stew it, and eat it. It's still beneficial for you at the qi refining stage. I was momentarily stunned. So this was the benefit Lu Changshou was talking about. Just in time, since I needed nutrients for cultivation. After working all the way into the evening, I brought a bucket of flesh and blood back to my wooden hut. Even though it was just scraps, the spiritual energy inside was no less than in a low-grade qi refining pill. Looking at the flesh in the wooden bucket, I slowly placed my right hand inside. In the next moment, my right hand instantly turned into roots. And together with the tree spirit, I refined the flesh, frantically absorbing the flesh and blood. At the same time, I operated the Lingshu mysterious technique to refine it. This pure spiritual energy. Cultivating plant-based techniques generates demonic energy. Until I find a solution, I still have to practice Lingshu mysterious technique. Skipping the step of absorbing natural spiritual energy, directly refining it sped up my cultivation a lot. As expected, demons absorb flesh and get stronger much faster. So I worked as a translator while boosting my cultivation with the flesh, until I received my low-grade artifact refining pill. After a night of cultivation, I finally reached the 3rd layer of artifact refining. Although I can barely suppress the demonic energy, the cultivation method problem still isn't solved. Little did I know, A huge opportunity was waiting for me. July 1st, I had just arrived at the prison when I saw a little blue ox sneak a peek at me. Then it quickly closed its eyes. I was about to go check it out when Niu smiled and spoke. Junior brother want some beef? Some of the outer disciples caught an ox demon. After saying that, he dragged the little blue ox out. But just as he was about to hang it on the iron hook, I suddenly stopped him. Senior brother, don't use torture just yet. It's actually awake, just pretending to sleep. Surprisingly, hearing this made Niu jump back in shock. He immediately stepped back. The little blue ox was also startled and opened its eyes wide. When it saw the torture device, its big eyes were filled with fear. It stayed awake even after being drugged. Could it be a Foundation establishment demon? Niu spoke in amazement. Go ahead and ask it. So, I asked in the universal monster language, tell us about your cultivation method and how you gained intelligence. Answer honestly. But for some reason, the little blue ox just stared at me blankly. I couldn't help but frown. Does it not understand? Ni Caillou's expression suddenly turned cold at this. Being stubborn, eh? Then let me torture it. He picked up the rattan whip nearby as he spoke. The little blue ox shook in terror, lying flat on the ground. It uttered some strange words, but what was surprising is that my face suddenly changed upon hearing them. Senior brother, that's ancient monster language. It's asking why we're capturing it. Actually, the blue ox also asked why it sensed a familiar aura from me. I decisively ignored that question. But for some unknown reason, Niu suddenly looked extremely pleased. This is an ancient monster cub. Ancient monsters inherit ancient bloodlines. The stronger the bloodline, the more terrifying their talent. Ask it where its parents are. If its parents are here, we'd better return it with respect. An adult ancient monster. Absolutely, isn't someone Lingshu Cave can afford to offend. After my translation, the little blue ox spoke naively. I've never met my parents. I was born in the mountains. Junior brother, wait here. I'll go report this. With that, he hurried off. An ancient monster with no parents once raised could become a guardian beast at the Demon King level for the sect. Half an hour later, Niu and Elder Bai Yuquan from the sect arrived. The elder glanced at me with a slight smile. Ask the blue ox if it's willing to take me as its master. I immediately helped ask, but the little blue ox was stunned. For a moment, it didn't know how to reply. In monster language, I said, if you want to live, you'd better agree to become a disciple. The elder will guide your cultivation, and even provide you with resources. Hearing that, the blue ox nodded repeatedly. It immediately bowed and said, I am willing to acknowledge, master. Elder Bai nodded in satisfaction. Very good, very good. From now on, I'll do my best to raise you into a great demon king. I was a little envious. My own background is no worse than that of ancient monsters. Still, if they find out I practice the longevity technique, let alone accept me as a disciple, they'd probably eat me alive on the spot. But still, I didn't come away empty-handed this time. Elder Bai casually handed me a bottle of top-grade key refining pills. I'll take my disciple and go now. She left with the little blue ox. Straight to the top. Yeah, I'm pretty jealous too. We're all monsters. Why is there such a gap in treatment? That evening, I received my usual bucket of flesh. But when we parted, Niu reminded me, don't tell anyone about the top-grade key refining pills. Thanks for the tip, senior brother. Top-grade key refining pills are resources for 7th layer key refining disciples. Even Lu Changshou, a 6th layer key refining, only gets mid-grade key refining pills every month. But what I didn't expect was, when I got back to my cabin, I found Lu Changshou had been waiting for a while. He heard I discovered an ancient monster, and that Elder Bai gave me quite a few benefits. He probably thought I'd keep them for myself. But to his surprise, I offered up the pills proactively. Lu Changshou opened the bottle, saw 10 pills inside, and said in surprise, "You really didn't take any. It's all thanks to you teaching me the monster language, senior brother. Otherwise, I wouldn't have met Ox Jr. I was just wondering how to gift them to you." I pretended to answer respectfully. Hearing this, he nodded. He took out a porcelain bottle. "I won't let you do it for free. Here's a bottle of mid-grade key refining pills for you." "Thank you, senior brother. Do your work well. If there's anything good in the future, I won't forget you."
After saying this, Lu Changshou
Left in satisfaction. With my current strength, all I can do is endure and improve myself. As a longevity tree, time is the one thing I have plenty of. By dawn, I had finished absorbing the flesh and 2 mid-grade key refining pills. I made it to the 4th layer of key refining. Then I carried my bucket to the prison. But to my surprise, the first thing Niu said to me left me stunned. "Did Lu Changshou take your pills? With your status and strength, there's no way you could keep top-grade key refining pills. Senior brother Lu is kind. He even gave me a bottle of mid-grade key refining pills." He's such a nice guy, isn't he? 10 mid-grade pills can't compare to 1 top-grade pill. But people like us are born to be bullied. What he couldn't understand was, I just smiled lightly, showing I didn't really care. Of course I want top-grade key refining pills, but I value my safety more. If I didn't hand the pills over, at best I'd get beaten up and robbed. And if I got hurt and showed anything unusual, I'd be as good as dead. Whatever, I've got all the time I need to cultivate. So I asked Niu, "Senior brother, can you give me more flesh today?" Niu was a little surprised. "Isn't a whole bucket enough for you?" But I pointed at his muscular frame. "Lately I've been training my body, so I need lots of flesh. I want a physique as perfect as yours, senior brother." Actually, I kept one thought to myself. I want to become a longevity tree that no one can bite through. The Q was quite pleased with my compliment. "You've got a good eye, junior brother." "Honestly, I'm getting a bit tired of this food myself. I'll wipe them all out for you." It's also because Zhao Qinyu received a reward from the elder. So he looks down on this meat and blood. I quickly expressed my gratitude. When night came, I carried 2 big buckets back. This time, there was also a bucket of organs. The energy inside was much stronger than the scraps. I immediately turned both hands into roots, absorbing the contents of both buckets at the same time. Streams of energy fused into my whole body, and in my mind, a small green tree received an extra dose of vitality. Until all the meat was absorbed, my body refining officially entered the first stage of key refining. I pinched my hardened skin. It should be able to withstand attacks from the first level of key refining. Attacks now. But that's still not enough. I've decided to keep refining my body till the end. As long as I get tough enough, no one will be able to eat me. So I focused on cultivating peacefully for half a month. I successfully reached key refining level 5. Body refinement reached key refining level 2. I thought I could just keep developing safely. Until one day, Lu Changshou suddenly came to find me. "Junior brother, that Qingyu will come to learn language from you. Is it that little Qingyu?" Yes, after the elder took him, he was named Niu Wendao. They realized there was a language barrier. Communication was difficult. Originally, they wanted another disciple to teach him, but thanks to my recommendation, they decided you'd be the one to teach. "Thank you, senior brother." Junior brother should know what to do, right? "I am grateful to you for your guidance, senior brother. I will always remember your kindness." I pretended to look sincerely grateful. Lu Changshou left again looking satisfied. When Niu heard about this, he actually spoke up excitedly. "That's a good thing. That Qingyu is pretty much a treasure now. His status is almost catching up with Chun, the sect master's personal disciple. But his temper is pretty irritable. All those disciples teaching him got hurt. I was kind of surprised. Chun mastered key refining level 1 in just 7 days. That hasn't been long. Niu Wendao was soon brought to the prison by a senior sister. The senior sister arrogantly told me to come out. I had just respectfully finished greeting her when Niu Wendao ran to my side and rubbed against me. But I was kind of speechless, afraid that Qingyu might try to bite me. Who knew, when senior sister saw this, her expression actually softened. Teach Niu Jr. how to speak human language properly. I'll come over tonight. She turned and left after saying that. Finally got to meet you. Those people can't communicate with me. I want to eat peaches. Wait till tonight. I'll tell senior sister and have her bring you peaches. I spoke as I led her into the interrogation room. But as soon as she entered, her first words instantly shocked me. Why do I feel so familiar with you, yet not with others? I really don't know. Maybe it's fate. All I could do was casually answer, saying I'm a demon. Nobody can say anything. I just want to stay away from this cow. She's the first one to notice something odd about me. Next, I continued the interrogation. Niu Wendao, the demon tribe, asked curiously, "Why are you recording all this?" The sect ordered us to record. They want these demon tribe cultivation methods. Not sure what they're for. Then why do you obey them? Is it because you can't beat the sect? Niu Wendao kept asking like a clueless child. When he saw me nod, Niu Wendao continued, "So why don't you just run?" Because it's dangerous out there. There are all sorts of demons, monsters, and major cultivation sects. I figured we're all demons, so I couldn't help but share what's really on my mind. Remember one thing. No matter if you're in the human world or the demon world, you have to hide yourself well. You have ancient demon blood. Other demons will devour you to get stronger. And in the human world, once they find a demon they've raised is out of control, they'll try to kill it too. This world is very dangerous. Back then, demons really did try to eat me. I just ran fast. Niu Wendao remembered his wandering days and shivered a bit. So he completely believed what I said. I comforted him. Before you have enough power, you have to learn to obey. Make everyone think you're more like a human. Then I have to learn human language fast. I started patiently teaching him. Niu Wendao's bloodline is strong, and he learned quickly. When senior sister came over at dusk, Niu Wendao hurried forward and spoke like a human. "Greetings, senior sister." "Hello, junior brother." After speaking, she casually tossed me a high-grade pill. "A reward for you. I'll bring Niu Jr. over again tomorrow." "Thank you for your reward, senior sister." I accepted the pill. Just as I returned to my wooden cabin, who knew Lu Changshou was already waiting for me. "Heard Niu Wendao gets along well with you." "Yes, that's thanks to senior sister." I took out that pill, but Lu Changshou seemed kind of dissatisfied. "Just one pill?" Senior sister only gave one pill. The seniors in the prison saw it too. He just broke through recently. Level 7 key refining. One high-grade key refining pill isn't enough for him. Lu Changshou took the pill with a cold face and was about to leave. But I suddenly spoke up. "Senior brother Changshou, is it possible to reward me with a mid-grade key refining pill?" But Lu Changshou glanced at the meat I was carrying. "Don't forget, you got this chance because I recommended you. If it weren't for me, you'd still be rotting in the library. Tomorrow I expect at least 3 high-grade key refining pills." "Thank you for your generosity, senior brother." I tried requesting once. Who knows? That Niu Wendao got close to you. Have him ask for it. He's very favored now. "Can you save one for me, senior brother? You're only good enough for this meat." I sighed softly.
He really just snatched it this time.
But I still pressed down my thoughts, went back to the hut to digest the meat, and started training my body. I estimate it'll take 20 more batches of this meat. to get to body refining level 3. If I want to become a tree nobody can take a bite out of, I still have a long way to go. Next day, I went to the prison as usual, but I didn't ask Niu Wendao for help. Instead, I went directly to Niu. Senior brother Ni, I'm having some trouble. Can I ask for your help? Having Niu Wendao ask for high-grade key refining pills is pretty much a death wish. I do not want to challenge that teacher. Niu recently broke through to key refining level 9. If he helped, I'd rather give him the high-grade pill than give it to Lu Changshou.
But
Niu's next answer surprised me. Is it about Lu Changshou? How did you know, senior brother Ni? I heard he's trying to get close to the inner sect lately. And he only gets 2 high-grade key refining pills a month, so he has no choice but to target you. Niu paused for a moment.
he said there's still a vacant room at his place.
You can just stay at my place tonight. Senior brother Ni, don't worry. I'll show my gratitude with the superior key refining pills. And make sure to honor you, senior brother. But unexpectedly, Niu just burst out laughing. Keep 1 or 2 pills for yourself. Just give me a few extras. A couple is enough. I'm someone who needs his pride. After saying that, he went to take care of the demon clan corpses. It's good to have pride. Just like a tree needs its bark, a person needs his pride. But Lu Changshou doesn't get it. I secretly clenched my fists. At this moment, Niu Wendao asked. He suddenly ran over excitedly. Don't you know? Yesterday I called out Master when I got back. And that old man was overjoyed. You said I should listen. Make them feel like I'm under control. After speaking, he spat out a porcelain bottle. It's pills from my senior sister. I'll give you a bottle. I glanced at it. Turns out it's superior grade artifact refining pills. This is Niu Wendao for you. What a good cow. But I still waved my hand and refused. Take it, I have plenty. My master gave me several bottles just yesterday. Niu Wendao didn't seem to care much about pills. I couldn't help but sigh inwardly. We're both monsters. Why is the difference so big? Seeing me accept the pills, Niu Wendao was extremely happy. You're my only friend here. Although Master and the others are nice to me, I still feel there's a sense of distance. Only you make me feel close. I'm not female. Watch what you say. You have to learn to be a good person. Even if you don't want to be human, you still have to learn how to act human in the human world. Niu Wendao nodded thoughtfully. I'm not just teaching him the language. I'm also teaching him how to live in the human world. After a long time studying, Niu Wendao wandered around the prison, but unexpectedly found out I got robbed of my pills. When he came back, he couldn't help but ask what I planned to do. I shrugged. Of course I'm going to hide. As long as I'm with senior brother Ni, Lu Changshou won't dare come. Niu Wendao looked puzzled. Is it because you can't beat Lu Changshou? No, I just prefer to get along with others. I don't like fighting and killing. Even if I could beat him, I wouldn't say it out loud. I'd secretly turn him into nourishment instead. Niu chimed in from the side. If junior brother was at the 7th level of key refinement,
He could just take action against Lu Changshou directly.
Niu Wendao realized something. He spoke in ancient demon tongue. You're trying to teach me to be patient when I'm weak, and to strike back hard when I'm strong, right? I'm speechless. I just want to cultivate in peace. How does this ox come up with stuff like that? Thanks for your thoughtful teaching. I'll remember to keep my head down when I'm weak, and wipe out his whole family when I'm strong enough. Looking at Niu Wendao's serious face, I fell silent. I was just kindly reminding this demon ox that he should know how to endure and keep a low profile. How did it lead to exterminating a whole family? That night, I followed Niu to his place. As soon as I walked in, he took out some pills. Senior brother, these pills are from Niu Wendao. He promised to share them with you. I wouldn't keep any for myself. You guy, I really don't know what to say to you. Niu was helpless. He poured out 5 pills and gave me back the remaining 5. I was about to go back to my room to cultivate, but unexpectedly he suddenly took out 10 porcelain bottles. These are key and blood pills. They're really useful for body training. In the key refinement sect, we all need to temper our bodies. Just relying on spiritual power isn't enough. That's why we use qi and blood pills to train. I see. I thanked him and put away the porcelain bottles. I value my dignity, so I really can't just take things from others for free. I went back to my room to cultivate. Niu finished speaking, then turned and went back to his room. I also went back and locked the door. I started taking and refining the pills. But what surprised me was, a single qi and blood pill was as effective as 6 portions of flesh. After refining 3 qi and blood pills, I successfully reached the 3rd level of body training. Next, through refining qi refinement pills, I broke through to the 6th level of qi refinement. But there was an even bigger surprise. The next day, as soon as Niu Wendao saw me, he gave me 2 bottles of top-grade qi refinement pills and spoke mysteriously in ancient demon tongue. I want to see you take Lu Changshou down as soon as possible. I was left speechless. With you acting like this, even if I'm not the one who does it later, I'll still be implicated, won't I? Niu Wendao ignored my silence and suddenly sighed. Why don't you come with me? Don't stay in this prison anymore. I feel really lonely up there. As a demon in a human sect, you have to learn to be lonely. Never show any hint that you want to return to the demon world. That'll make people think you're untrustworthy. Niu Wendao broke out in a cold sweat and quickly nodded. Life calmed down again. Although Lu Changshou came looking for me, he just glanced from a distance and left. He doesn't dare mess with Niu. I set my mind at ease and trained hard. My body training reached the 5th level, and my cultivation hit the peak of qi refinement level 6. But just as I was about to break through to level 7, an uninvited guest suddenly appeared. Lu Changshou, what are you here for? To inform you about the Tri-Sect tournament in half a month. I've always kept you in mind when there were benefits. But you betrayed me. About the Yao Yu incident, others think the prison is filthy and refuse to come, so you dumped it on junior brother instead. Niu Wendao benefited from the opportunity, but you took those benefits from junior brother for yourself. Lu Changshou have some shame. Lu Changshou's face turned ugly, but he didn't dare lash out at Niu. Get lost, just looking at you pisses me off. Lu Changshou snorted coldly. I hope you can talk this tough in the Tri-Sect tournament. With that he turned and left. But Niu frowned at me instead. The Tri-Sect tournament is for the disciples of Lingshu Cave Heaven. It's a competition and maybe you could use it to leave the prison. If Niu Wendao puts in a good word for you, maybe you could become an elder's disciple. But Lu Changshou will definitely make things hard for you. But to his surprise, I just smiled and said, that's why I just won't go. Niu was stunned after hearing that. But Niu Wendao can't always come looking for you. The gap between you two will only get bigger. In the end, you might not even stay friends. But I had a calm look on my face. It's just a fleeting bond anyway. Who says we have to be friends? Niu was stunned for a moment before reacting. Yeah, it's that very attitude of yours that makes Niu Wendao want to hang out with you. An elder bai allows you two to be friends. If you tried to climb up using this, senior sister would have dealt with you already. I didn't respond, but changed the topic and asked, Senior brother, do you want to go to the Tri-Sect tournament to get out of the prison? Niu answered honestly, of course, I've already reached the 9th level of qi refinement. And if I can make the top 10 in my branch, I'll get a foundation establishment pill and maybe build my foundation. Senior brother, you're talented too. So how did you end up in prison? But Niu just shook his head, saying nothing more. Seeing this, I didn't press further. As a demon, you have to remember one thing. Never be too curious. The next day, Niu Wendao found out about the Tri-Sect tournament too. As soon as he saw me, he said, Master decided to send me and senior brother Changchun to the Lingshu secret realm. I've heard there are rare fruits inside, but of course it's also dangerous. But I shook my head and said, thanks for your kindness. But I don't want to go. I just want to cultivate peacefully. But who would have thought Niu Wendao would start making things up again? I see. You want to keep enduring until you can get your revenge. I fell silent again. Why is this demon ox so convinced I want revenge? If you keep this up, even when I'm strong enough, it'll be hard for me to do anything. Niu Wendao kept going. Tomorrow I'll go to the secret realm to get stronger. Master wants me to place well in the written exam, and preferably beat Changchun too. At this point, Niu Wendao lowered his voice. I feel like there's something off about Changchun. He doesn't seem like the genius everyone says he is. Hearing this, my face turned serious. Humans love to hide their secrets. So don't go digging around too much. Because to keep those secrets, humans will try to get rid of any one human or demon who finds out. Niu Wendao nodded heavily. Got it. So if there's a benefit, I should look into it. Speechless again. Should I praise him for being insightful or not? In the end, Niu Wendao left. Before leaving, he tossed me 3 more bottles of top-grade key refinement pills. This ox is a good one. Hope he really takes my advice to heart and keeps a low profile a little longer. Returning to my place, I ran into Lu Changshou again. Senior brother Changshou, you're really keeping a close watch on me. But Lu Changshou was staring at me intently. If it weren't for you right now, I should be the one entering the Lingshu secret realm. I spoke calmly. That would be truly unfortunate. Senior brother, that's all for nothing, like drawing water with a bamboo basket. As soon as I finished speaking, the furious Lu Changshou was about to make a move. But when he saw Niu not far away, he calmed down again. Niu will return to the key refining peak in 10 days. No one will protect you then. Let's see what you can do. The human heart is endlessly greedy. I shook my head, stood up and left. Even the longevity tree has a temper. 10 days later, Niu was indeed preparing to return to the key vein. Fortunately, before leaving, he activated the grand formation for me. Junior brother, focus on your cultivation in seclusion. Wait for me to return. If I can get the foundation establishment pill and successfully build my foundation, I'll have my own independent cultivation method. Then you can learn key refining with me. But he would never have imagined. His words were a wake-up call for me. Since those demon tribe bones can be used for key refining, why don't I forge myself into a magic weapon? So I secretly made up my mind. From now on, I'll seriously learn the key refining methods from Niu. But right now, I need to solve my biggest crisis first. Shortly after Niu left, Lu Changshou really did come. But seeing the grand formation, he simply couldn't get in. Just as he was about to leave with hatred, I suddenly swaggered out of the formation. But strangely, Lu Changshou didn't act when he saw this. He just glared at me coldly, probably afraid I'd run back inside. I thought for a moment, then suddenly burrowed into the ground. Lu Changshou sensed my aura and sneered. So it was the earth escape technique. No wonder you got out so fast. And you even advanced from key refining level 2 to 6. How many pills did you use up for this? All of that should have been mine. As he thought of this, his heart twisted with jealousy. He used a movement technique and followed my trail. Entering a quiet forest, Lu Changshou suddenly emerged from underground. But he actually lost my aura. Did Niu also give me some artifact to hide my presence? Just as he frowned in thought, a sword light shot out from the trees behind him. In a hurry! Lu Changshou instantly jumped back. His longsword thrust rapidly. The clash of blades. Lu Changshou's arm shook. His sword nearly flew out of his hand. But I pressed the attack with my sword and slashed his wrist. A high-grade magic sword. Key refining level 7. How many resources did Niu Wendao actually give you? You really made it to key refining level 7. What he had heard was only that senior sister's reward. And what Niu Wendao gave me privately, only Niu and I knew the details. Only Niu and I were aware. I stayed silent and raised my sword again. A heavy, oppressive aura spread out. Dark clouds seemed to churn overhead. Lingyan 3 swords. Wrath of the Dark Cloud. Lu Changshou clearly recognized that move. He also activated his spiritual energy. The same sword technique. Even if you've reached key refining level 7, you're still no match for me. As the 2 identical sword moves were about to clash, I suddenly disappeared into the earth. Lu Changshou's face changed, but the sword move couldn't be withdrawn. Silently, I emerged from the ground like a ghost, thrust my sword through his body. Blood gushed out. Lu Changshou's sword technique fell apart,
He looked at the sword piercing his body.
forcing himself to raise his sword. But I disappeared again. Lu Changshou seized the moment to take a pill and roared with rage. Despicable! Come out and fight me for real if you have the guts. I accept your challenge, senior brother. As soon as I spoke, sword light flashed, like an antelope's horns. Untraceable. Lu Changshou's eyes lit up. He stabbed forward with his sword. 1,000 sword energies cut off all my escape routes. But the next moment, I disappeared again. Lu Changshou slapped the ground with his palm. His powerful strike sank into the earth and rapidly spread underground. But Lu Changshou suddenly froze. Sword light reappeared. I materialized from behind a tree and stabbed through his body again. Vast sword energy surged inside him, wreaking havoc. Senior brother, I can do more than just earth escape, I said coolly, pulling my sword out, bringing out more crimson blood. 2 swords through his body. Lu Changshou staggered. His face was twisted with pain, his eyes cold and vicious. You despicable scoundrel. It takes a cold heart to survive as a demon. I snorted and said, suddenly sped up. Cloud vanishes without trace. Cloud has no fixed form. In an instant, the entire forest was filled with my images and sword flashes everywhere. Lu Changshou hardly tried to use earth escape to run, but the bleeding wouldn't stop. So even underground, he'd be revealed. He tried to use the tree shield, but I was always one step ahead. At that moment, Lu Changshou suddenly realized in horror. My cultivation had already far surpassed his. In a split second, Lu Changshou was covered in wounds. Blood flowed wildly. His breathing grew labored. Changshan, stop. Please stop. Lu Changshou's face turned ashen. He begged in panic. I know I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Let me go. I'll listen to you from now on. Really, I swear. I swear to the heavens. I'll acknowledge you as my master from now on. Kneel. Put the sword down. Then I'll spare your life. All right, I'll throw the sword far away. He gasped for breath even harder. Even his body on its knees was wobbling. I walked toward him slowly. Looking at Lu Changshou, nearly unconscious, I sighed. Senior brother, it didn't have to come to this. I know I was wrong. I'll listen to you from now on. You are mine now, Lu Changshou muttered, but suddenly shot out his right hand. As if I had already expected this, I dodged sideways and stabbed my sword through his throat. Told you, it takes a cold heart to survive. I'm not stupid. Didn't even need to use my inner armor. I really overestimated senior brother Lu. This period of clinging to him delayed my cultivation. Not even a single treasure was gained. All this prep was for nothing. I grabbed Lu Changshou, took his corpse underground. Both palms quickly turned into roots, wrapping around Lu Changshou's corpse, and rapidly broke it down, absorbing it into pure nutrients. I escaped underground, leaving the forest. Lu Changshou really was a pauper. He didn't have any pills on him, just that high-grade magic sword. Taking that sword would only bring me trouble. I don't need it anyway. I didn't expect a level 7 key refining cultivator to provide so many nutrients. It should allow me to break through to body refining level 7. I returned to my residence, feeling surprised inside. One Lu Changshou was worth more than a bottle of blood key pills. Absorbed the nutrients in peace, and tempered my whole body. The blood threads on my main body increased once again. The potent energy of blood was astonishing. Threads of blood like veins spread all throughout my body. Vivid green vitality flows through me, making my entire tree crystal clear like jade, taking on a strange, mystical form. Even the lush leaves now carry a hint of crimson, stronger and more resilient. 7 layers fused as one. I open my eyes. My hand transforms into roots and touches the high-grade magical sword. Still, it's not quite as good as the high-grade magical sword. Magical tools of the same rank can break through my defenses. They can still gnaw at me. I'll study key refining with Nibal in the future. I muttered to myself. There's no reason those demon clan skeletons can cultivate key. And I can't. If I treat myself as a magic tool and refine myself, it shouldn't be a problem. As for any injuries, they're nothing to worry about. As long as my identity isn't exposed, that endless vitality can heal any wound. I'll study it in secret then, with no more pills left. I don't feel like going out either. I'll just focus on my cultivation, wait for Nibal to return, then study key refining from him, and research even stronger body forging methods. I also need to keep working on advanced techniques. Demon cultivation only goes up to key refining level 9. It's a pity there's no plant demon cultivator at the foundation establishment stage to learn from. Keep cultivating. Progress is slow, made only a slight improvement after a whole day. Body refinement is also painfully slow. No wonder those demon cultivators are so impatient. They go capture living beings for nourishment. But I don't lack time, so there's no need for such methods. If you walk by the river long enough, your shoes are bound to get wet. If my demon identity is exposed, at best, I'll be slain as an evil spirit. At worst, I'll be torn limb from limb. As for Lu Changshou, that was a last resort. He went too far. I had no choice but to turn him into nourishment. My brother only had his clothes left, and a long sword that flew away. Can Niu Wendao tell it was me? Time flies by quickly. A call from Changsheng rings out. I'm a bit taken aback. Looking out the window, Niu Wendao is standing at the door, blocked by the formation, unable to enter. I head downstairs to let Niu Wendao in. So, you made it out of the Lingshu secret realm. Looks like you've made quite a bit of progress. Changsheng, I want to ask you, what should I do if I took someone else's belongings? Niu Wendao says in a low voice. My eyelid twitches. Don't tell me you robbed Changchun? Yes, but I was forced to. That guy actually tried to enslave me. Luckily, my master gave me a protective treasure. In anger, I activated my bloodline, used the treasure to seriously injure him, and took his spiritual herb. I fell silent. Niu Wendao continues. Gotta admit, that spiritual herb is really something. It let me reach key refining level 7. Even though Changchun is now at key refining level 8. He's really not my match. You're really impressive. Changchun didn't come looking for trouble again? He did it in secret. No one else knows. And that's exactly why I snatched his spiritual herb. Since it was done privately. Just pretend nothing ever happened. If you tell your master about it,
He'd also advise you to let it go.
I can beat Changchun. Why should I keep putting up with it? If I beat him openly and fairly, I might even take his place and become the senior disciple. That's what my master thinks too. He'll support me. It's not that easy. You can beat Changchun, but can you beat the sect leader? When your master sides with you, who's going to side with Changqing? You're right. But there really is something off about Changchun. Bai Yuquan is only at the foundation establishment stage, but the sect leader is at the golden core stage. That's a huge difference in cultivation. If there's something wrong, there's something wrong. Don't be too curious. I sensed demonic energy from him. I didn't investigate, just felt it during our fight. My heart skipped a beat. Is the Lingshu Grotto really researching demon clan cultivation methods? And Changchun is the first cultivator. Just act like you know nothing. Play dumb if you need to. That's how you survive better in Lingshu Grotto. So now I have a secret. Yep, you've got a secret. When you talk to your master, just tell him Changchun harmed you. Don't mention the spiritual herb. Why is that herb so valuable? How could I not mention it? It's just Changchun who knows about it anyway. Just never admit it and you'll be fine. I'll remember that. Let's head back. Don't come see me so easily in the future. You're a genius among ancient demons. And I'm just an ordinary disciple. But we're friends. If the gap is too big, we're not really friends. I don't get it. By the way, did you sign up for the 3-vein tournament? You want to defeat Lu Changshou in front of everyone, right? When did I sign up for the 3-vein tournament? Didn't you sign up yourself? I saw your name on the list. Number. I just want to cultivate in peace. I don't want any of this. Which jerk signed me up? How did they sign up without my identity token? I'll help you ask when I get back. Niu Wendao finished and left Nibal's place. I furrowed my brow. Who did this? The three-vein tournament is way too attention-grabbing. How can the longevity tree do that? I simply won't go. Doesn't seem possible. The tournament is extremely important for Lingshu Grotto. Signing up but not showing up is a major offense. Whatever, it doesn't matter who did it. I'll just surrender right away. The longevity tree still needs to keep a low profile. Can't attract too much attention. Unless I'm sure they can't chop me down. Meanwhile, Niu Wendao arrived at Bai Yuquan's place. Bai Yuquan just finished cultivating. Seeing him return, I heard you left the Lingshu secret realm and went to see Changsheng. Why didn't you come straight back? Master, I was afraid to return. Your disciple has been wronged. How were you wronged? Who bullied you? This is his disciple after all. How can a demon genius be bullied? In the secret realm, Changchun tried to enslave me. Luckily, I had your methods. Only then did I survive. I felt wronged and didn't dare speak up. Changsheng said my status was too low, so I could only vent to him. I felt better after talking and came back to see Master. He tried to enslave you. How could he dare treat his master like this? I'll take you to see the sect leader now. Master, please calm your anger. Niu Wendao hurriedly stopped him. Disciple, it's no big deal to feel a bit wronged. Changchun is the sect leader's disciple. The sect leader will be biased. In the end, it will all be swept under the rug. Bai Yuquan looked complicated. This Niu Wendao is truly considerate. Indeed, the sect leader would favor his own disciple. Nothing would come out of going there. Good disciple, it's my fault as your master for letting you suffer. Master, you've already treated me very well. I just want my master to be happy. I just want to cultivate with master in peace. Niu Wendao affectionately rubbed against Bai Yuquan's robe. Bai Yuquan was visibly moved. To obtain such a rare demon as a disciple. Truly my good fortune. My disciple is being bullied, but I can't stand up for him. Elder Bai Yuquan sighed in his heart.
He also knew it was useless to go to the sect leader.
Unable to seek justice for his disciple, all I can do is take better care of him. So Niu Wendao received another pile of resources and more protection techniques. Changsheng really knows what to say. Just a few words, and I got a bunch of resources. Niu Wendao thought, he's truly a great friend. Meanwhile, I practiced Lingshu mystical art and body refinement. Cultivating silently, time passed by. The day of the sword sect tournament arrived as scheduled. A disciple delivered the tournament sword token to me. I was told to attend the competition on time. I had no choice but to leave my residence and head to the tournament grounds, not far away, right where Lin Jianfeng's disciples usually practice spells. Now, 10 fighting stages had been set up. Aside from Lingshu Cave Heaven Sword disciples around, Dan and Key Branch disciples were there to watch too. The scene was lively, which I didn't particularly like. The main sect has arrived. The main sect has arrived. Exclamations rang out one after another. I looked up. There was a man with half-gray hair, wearing a purple Daoist robe, with a resolute expression. A golden jade pendant hung from his waist. This man was none other than Zhe Wengshan, sect leader of Lingshu Cave Heaven, currently at the Golden Core Reversion Realm. Behind him was an elder with white hair and a childlike face. His skin looked as smooth as a baby's, with a kindly smile on his face. He was the Grand Elder of Lingshu Cave Heaven, Jiyu Hengtong at the peak of Foundation Establishment. Welcome, sect leader. Welcome, Grand Elder. The sect leader ascended the stage, beaming with a wide smile. He stood on the stage and surveyed the hall. All the disciples fell silent. The Triennial Three Branches Tournament. This time is unlike previous years. Because Lingshu Cave Heaven is full of talent, the future is bound to be glorious. All you disciples know, this sect leader has accepted Changchun as a disciple. Everyone's heard of his 7-day key condensation. Senior brother Changchun has unmatched talent, with an extraordinary presence. Senior brother Changchun has peerless aptitude. A group of disciples started praising excitedly. I followed along, echoing the praise, behaving no differently from the other disciples. I don't really care how talented they are. Other than the ancient demon Blue Bull, Niu Wendao is the only genius I've met. Zhe Wangxian was very pleased with the disciples' reactions. He nodded and said,
Even though Changchun is a genius.
the sect still has another prodigy, and that's Elder Bai Yuquan's disciple, with an ancient demon bloodline. Niu Wendao is truly a blessing for Lingshu Cave Heaven. News of Niu Wendao had already spread throughout the sect. Many disciples even went to the prison just to meet an ancient demon. A lot of them visited hoping to encounter one. Heaven bless Lingshu Cave Heaven. Heaven bless Lingshu. If Niu Wendao and Changchun reach their potential, it will surely elevate Lingshu Cave Heaven to new heights. Changchun and Niu Wendao both possess the potential of Primal Pearl. They'll definitely surpass this sect leader in the future and lead the sect to greater strength. Sons of the Primal Pearl, the disciples were in an uproar, absolutely stunned. Even the sect leader is only at the upper stage of Golden Leaf Core reversion. But the Primal Pearl is a different level. If they both surpass the sect leader in the future, Lingshu Cave Heaven will undoubtedly thrive. For this tournament, Changchun and Niu Wendao will not compete with you. There are still only 10 spots. Zhe Wangxian declared loudly. Once the 10 are chosen, they'll face off against you. Your rankings won't be affected. The sect leader is wise. The sect leader is wise. The disciples instantly got excited. A few at the peak of 9th stage key condensation almost jumped for joy. They'd always worried about Changchun and Niu Wendao, not confident they could handle them. Now that the sect leader said this, that means there are still 10 foundation pills to compete for. Alright, I as sect leader announce. Lingshu Cave Heaven tournament begins. Contestants come up to draw lots. Zhe Wangxian finished speaking and looked at Jiu Hengtong. This time, the Grand Elder will preside over everything. He stepped down from the stage. Disciples brought over tables and chairs. Jiu Hengtong stepped onto the Noan stage, looking composed, just as in previous years, holding the sword tokens in hand, and had disciples draw lots. As soon as he finished speaking, disciples began leaping onto the stage, each holding a palm-sized sword token. I had one in my hand as well. I let out a helpless sigh and headed to stage 10. There was already a line of disciples on the stage, so I queued up as well. Each disciple drew lots, left the stage with their numbers, and waited quietly. Soon, it was my turn. I drew number 83. The drawing isn't in order. There are a total of 120 spots for the tournament. You battle those with neighboring numbers. Number 1 faces 2, 3 versus 4, and so on. I have to face number 84. A disciple with a mole at the corner of his mouth glanced at me. He saw my number. Junior brother, are you 83? Senior brother, perhaps you're 84? No, I'm 72. I didn't say much more. 10 stages started simultaneously. 2 people duel each time, 20 at a time. I waited patiently with the other contestants. One by one, key condensation disciples took the stage. I watched those disciples. The weakest among them were at key condensation stage 7. All in their prime, young and energetic, full of confidence. I also observed their spell techniques. Key condensation cultivators weren't versed in advanced methods. Their flying sword moves were just standard techniques. However, they picked up other skills, such as Thunder Palm. Though in the key condensation realm, Thunder Palm only makes a noise, without showing the actual lightning. But its force is fierce and domineering. Still impressive. Wow, that sword could even threaten someone at key condensation stage 8. On stage 10, the 2 disciples exchanged sword ki like rain. Their footwork was so swift that they left after images on stage. I recognized the sword art they were using. Lingshu 13 swords. This set focuses on speed and ruthlessness. Every move aimed at vital points. When all 13 strikes come out at once, they cover all of the enemy's directions, leaving nowhere to escape. The disciples of Lingshu Grotto Heaven almost all practice this set of sword techniques. The Lingyan 3 swords that I practice myself is actually less popular than these Lingshu 13 swords. The Lingyan 3 swords are ethereal and traceless, unpredictable, showing weakness to the enemy. searching for the enemy's flaws, then unleashing the wrath of dark clouds for a one-hit kill. I feel that the Lingshu 13 swords is more like a brute sword technique. Although it looks powerful, it relies on sheer momentum and the determination to kill the enemy. I don't like this kind of sword technique. If one set of moves fails to kill the enemy, the momentum dissipates, and there might not even be a chance to run away. The Lingyan 3 swords are still better. One can retreat at any time. Survival comes first. In a competition of the same martial arts, what matters is the mastery of sword techniques, combat experience, and cultivation level. 15 minutes later, the first round of the competition ended. 10 disciples were eliminated. With faces full of resentment, they declared they would fight again next year and would surely defeat their opponents. The disciples below were discussing what they would do if they encountered such opponents and whether they could win. Some were full of confidence, while others were already feeling uneasy. My expression remained calm. I wasn't worried at all. I would just go up and forfeit. As it approached noon, it was finally my turn. I took my number tag and sword spirit onto the arena. The long sword in my hand was brought from the Sin Orb. As for the competition, the sect would not provide weapons. My opponent was a Daoist about 20 years old, at the mid-stage of the 7th level of Qi refining. I cupped my hands and said, "Little brother." Li Changshou greets senior brother. Han Zhuyuan of Lingjian Peak. I recognize you. You are the one who discovered Niu Wendao in the prison. It is my honor that senior brother knows of me. I heard that before you met Niu Wendao, you were only at the 2nd level of Qi refining. I didn't expect you to dare to stand on this arena today, to compete with me. Han Zhuyuan, however, was not that kind. He sneered, "But you are an ungrateful person. The senior brother who taught you the demon language and gave you opportunities back then. After you climbed up to Niu Wendao, you humiliated him and cut off all ties." I was slightly stunned. "Why do you say that, senior brother?" "I have never done such a thing. This Li Changsheng is actually such a person, clinging to Niu Wendao and immediately forgetting his past. The previous senior brother was really nothing to him." The disciples below heard this and immediately began to curse. The eyes looking at me were full of contempt. "Today I will teach you a good lesson on behalf of that senior brother," Han Zhuyuan said coldly. "You are inherently of poor talent, only forcibly promoted by pills. Today I will knock you back to your original form. In the future, stay in the prison properly, and don't have any other ideas." I frowned, understanding in my heart. I said no more. "Senior brother, more words are useless, please. The person in front of me should be someone familiar with Lu Changshou. This competition is hosted by the great elder's lineage. Rigging the matches to pit him against me was easy." Han Zhuyuan snorted coldly, and his long sword unsheathed. In an instant, sword light filled the air, and over a dozen sword lights pressed in, blocking all directions. "Senior brother Han, don't hold back. Beat him back to the prison. A piece of trash should stay in the prison." Many disciples below also shouted loudly, trying to disturb my inner peace. I quickly cupped my hands and threw out my sword token. "Senior brother's strength is high. I concede." Han Zhuyuan was stunned, but the next moment his expression turned cold, and the sword light pierced directly forward. My expression changed. The sword light was already in front of me. I feigned a stumble and retreated, my body barely dodging the sword light by a hair's breadth, quickly retreating to the edge of the arena. With a fake slip, I fell right off. Han Zhuyuan was slightly dazed. I, however, quickly scrambled up. Below the arena, I cupped my hands and said, "Senior brother's sword technique is brilliant. I have lost, farewell." Han Zhuyuan, the disciples below, and this very scene, also caused great elder Jiyu Hengtong to glance over. But he didn't care much. What a piece of trash. Scared witless by one sword strike from senior brother Han, Senior Brother Han's Lingshu 13 Swords is simply superb. I didn't even see it clearly just now. Yes, Senior Brother Han is too powerful. A guy who relies on clinging to Niu Wendao. What capability could he have? Soon, Han Zhuyuan was drowned in a wave of flattery. Han Zhuyuan was somewhat bewildered. Is it really like that? But he hasn't even truly attacked yet. He had promised Lu Changshou to teach me a good lesson, not to mention heavy injuries, at least to make me look extremely pathetic and lose all face. Now the face is gone, but he wasn't injured at all. And this kid lost. Why isn't he sad? Instead, he just dusted himself off and left, looking quite excited. By the way, he seemed to haven't seen Lu Changshou for a few days. Why wasn't he seen at this competition either? I didn't care about these things. I just came to forfeit. Now that I've lost, it's time to go back and practice in peace. Returning to my residence, I practiced in peace again. Although there are no more pills, and cultivation progress is slow, cultivation is a job of accumulation over time. Slowly refining spiritual power, practicing with a calm mind. Everything outside has nothing to do with me. Whatever 3 lineages competition, let them compete however they want. Practicing until evening, Niu Wendao came again. I sighed. Didn't I say not to come to me easily? Although Niu Wendao gives me resources and is a good bull, Niu Wendao is too prominent. If he comes here, I will also be noticed. I came to comfort you. I was stunned. Comfort me for what? The competition. You didn't even take one move and fell off the arena pathetically. This is indeed very embarrassing, but you can't be sad for this. I believe you can surely cheer up and defeat that Han sooner or later. What was it? Han Zhuyuan. I'm fine. No need to comfort me. No need to pretend to be strong. I rubbed my brow. He is a good bull. I didn't want to participate in the meeting anyway. Letting a longevity tree show its face. The pressure is very high. Unless I'm sure they can't bite me. You forfeited on purpose. You already signed up, and you already went up. Why not give it a try? My strength is not enough. I need to continue to endure. I could only explain to Niu Wendao, in a way he could understand. Jumping out of the prison is enough. Don't you yearn for the good resources above? I don't. I also want good resources, but if I have to fight for them, then forget it. My body refinement still can't block a Dharma sword of the same rank. There's no lack of 9th level key refining disciples in the competition. The first round was Han Zhuyuan at the mid-7th level. What about the second round? What if I get injured? The sight of a longevity tree bleeding in public. That scene is too cruel, unimaginable. Alright, I wanted to wait for you to get a good result and practice together with me. You have to understand. You are a genius. You're destined to reach the peak. Don't focus on me, a loser. I originally wanted to share resources with you, but my master limited my resources. He said they should be used to win over and recruit low-priced disciples. That way I have people around me, and a better protection in the future. Listen to your master. I don't need those resources. I'll join the key training branch in the future. I want to learn key training from Senior Brother Ni. That's the path of my life. That's such a shame. Niu Wendao spoke in a low tone. I'm the only person he feels close to. With me around, he doesn't feel so lonely. But I don't want to go up with him. His talent really is lacking. Without the resources he gave me. Maybe I'd just be at the 4th layer of key training now. There's a saying humans have. Most things don't go as planned. You can't expect things to always go your way. Can I still come talk to you in the future? Just purely chat. That can be done privately. Don't let your master find out. Okay. Changsheng, if one day I return to the demon clan, would you be willing to come with me to the demon clan? I'll take my master with me. You must never have such thoughts. Right now you're part of the human sect. Thinking of returning to the demon clan. The demon clan's world? When your master and I went to the demon world, it felt the same to us as it does to you. no matter where you go later, no matter who it is, including your master. Never mention it again. I'll pretend I didn't hear it this time. I understand. Niu Wendao took a deep breath, quickly left. He still thinks about going back to the demon world. Even if his master treats him well, that still can't change the loneliness in his heart. He knows how to be grateful, remembers his master's kindness. But that loneliness can't be filled by kindness. Demons lack a sense of belonging in the human world. I understand deeply, because I feel the same way. But my situation is different. I felt just as lost when I went to the demon world. Changshang is not just a demon. He's also seeking a peaceful place to cultivate. Once I have the power to protect myself, then I can think about other things. Niu Wendao left. I activated the array and continued my seclusion. Lingshu Cave Heaven. 3 branches martial competition. So lively like fire and earth. No one is paying attention to me here. Junior disciple Han Juyun is confused. But the martial competition matters more right now. As for Lu Changshou, someone is searching for him, but he is nowhere to be found. Time passes. Half a month flies by in a blink. I finally reached late stage of key training 7th layer. Body training is still at the 7th layer. Early stage, but I have no key and blood pills. No flesh and blood nutrients. Progress is slow. Niekyu has returned. His face is filled with a smile. Congrats, senior brother Ni, for getting the Foundation Establishment pill. You've been in seclusion the whole time. How did you know I got the Foundation Establishment pill? It's written all over your face. If you hadn't gotten the Foundation Establishment pill, how could you have such a smile? I did get the Foundation Establishment pill, and I can return to the key branch now. Niekyu took out a porcelain bottle. Inside was a green pill. Take me for Foundation Establishment. Take you to key training. Thank you, senior brother. I turned to leave. I thought that once I go to the key branch, Niu Wendao probably won't come looking for me anymore. Niekyu didn't rush to break through but said, back then, I sparred with others in key training. A bet duel, overly confident, crafted a superior quality magic sword. It's no worse than those at the 9th layer of key training. The loser before Foundation Establishment, except for the martial competition, couldn't return to the key branch. Luckily, I met you. That's what let me reach the 9th layer of key training and win the Foundation Establishment pill. Senior brother lost the bet duel back then. No wonder you ended up in prison. And what about the winner? The winner, ranked 11th, was defeated by me. This time, I'll reach Foundation Establishment before him. Congratulations, senior brother. I congratulated him again. Enough talk, I'm off to Cultivate. Wait for me to succeed at Foundation Establishment. Man, my memory. This is a superior key and blood pill for you. Thank you, senior brother. You need secluded cultivation as well. I also went back to my room to refine the key and blood pill. The key and blood pill turned into pure nutrients, merged into my body, quickly digested. The crimson color on my body grew deeper, becoming tougher and stronger. Pill after pill refined. My body progressed quickly. When I got tired from body training, I switched to key training, gradually polished the spiritual energy inside. Time flashed by. Both bottles of key and blood pills have been fully refined. After reaching the middle stage of body refinement, the later stage isn't that far off. Niekyu is still cultivating. I haven't left seclusion. I take a fasting pill to continue training. Dual training in both key and body.
It's slow.
But each day I can feel progress. Another 7 days. Time passes. A powerful aura comes toward me and wakes me up. The surging energy fluctuations shock me deeply. Niekyu has succeeded in Foundation Establishment. I've now experienced how terrifying Foundation Establishment experts can be. Just this burst of energy makes my heart race, unable to resist. Those elders have been at Foundation Establishment for years. Their power is unfathomable. Congrats to senior brother on his Foundation Establishment success. Niekiu walked out of his room, his whole body radiating a strong aura. I need 3 more days to stabilize my cultivation. 3 days later, we'll head to the key branch. Yes. I turned back to my room. 3 days went by in a flash. Nikiu's cultivation stabilized. His aura became restrained. Pack up all the magic tools with your storage bag. Take you to the key branch. I'll get in touch with Ling Jianfeng's side. Thank you, senior brother. No need to be formal between us. You're my benefactor. Niekiu smiled. With a wave, the magic sword flew out. He grabbed my hand and soared on the sword. Sword riding. Shot up into the sky. Disappeared into the clouds. Foundation establishment controls objects. Golden core rides the clouds. This sword is still lacking. Once we join the key branch, it can be reforged. With senior brother's skills, it'll be easy for him. Niekiu takes me to the top of the spirit key peak. Palaces and corridors are all connected. The richness of spiritual energy here is far beyond what I experienced at Lingjian Peak. Niu Wendao said Lin Jianfeng has a spirit gathering formation. This spirit key wind also has a spirit gathering formation. There's only an old man with a white beard in the shop. He was leisurely sipping tea. Elder Wu. Nikiu walked in. He bowed respectfully. Not bad, not bad. Yes, not bad. You have a bit of my style from back in the day. Go claim it yourself. This is your artifact refining room. After speaking, he took out a pitch-black token and tossed it to Nikiu. Thank you, Elder. Nikiu took the token. The number 13 was engraved on it. He led me down from the mountaintop. There were quite a few houses around here, but each was separated by dozens of meters. Every house had a refining furnace. Each was isolated by formations. Lush vegetation also surrounded the area. We arrived at the 3-story building of House 13. Used the token to activate the formation. Entered the house. There was a giant refining furnace in the courtyard. And a water well. Wait here for me. I'll go pick up the Fengyan Land manual first. All right. I obediently replied. Went inside to wait. Various hammers and refining tools were placed on the first floor. The second and third floors were living quarters. I didn't touch anything and sat in meditation. Although the spiritual key here wasn't as abundant as on the mountaintop, it was still far superior to where I'd been before. About half an hour passed. Nikiu came back. He had a booklet in his hand. Senior brother. Nikiu opened his storage bag. He took out a pile of books. Take a good look at these formations. Formations and refining have always been inseparable. You need to learn formations before learning refining. That's right. Otherwise, how could these magic tools be so tough and hard to destroy? How else could they boost a cultivator's power? Even the best refining materials need the help of formations. Otherwise, they're just materials. I see. I'll be sure to study hard. If you want to learn, I'll teach you everything I know. Once you reach foundation establishment, I'll also teach you Fengyan Jilayan. Fengyan Jilayan. That's the unique refining technique of the spirit key wind. Yes, Fengyan Jilayan. Legend says the founder of Lingshu Cave Heaven acquired it at some ancient ruins. Unfortunately, it's incomplete. At best, you can only refine magic tools up to golden liquid pill level. A truly remarkable method. But it's a shame you have to be at foundation establishment to practice it. Because key refining stage cultivators can't sustain it with their spiritual power. Only the vast spiritual power of foundation establishment can break free from the refining furnace and use spiritual power for refining. At foundation establishment, you're no longer limited to mundane fire. You can use spiritual power to create true fire for refining. Senior brother, I'm curious. Do you think it's possible to refine living things into magic items? And the living creature would still be alive. Living things? Yeah, like a spirit tree. Refining an entire tree directly into a magic tool. Your thinking is rather naive. There's no way. Living creatures would be burnt up by true fire. I fell silent. My physical body can't resist magic tools of the same rank, so the idea popped into my head. What if I tried to refine myself as a magic tool? Carve formations all over my body. Maybe then I'd match up to magic tools of the same rank, and nothing could break through. I'd just focus on learning formations in peace. Lu Changshou's longsword was finally found. But besides the longsword, nothing else was recovered. Lu Changshou disappeared without a trace. Jian Feng also sent someone to investigate. Naturally, someone came to question me. But I had Ni Qiu as my witness. He vouched that junior brother Li had been in seclusion with me the entire half-month. Hadn't left my side once. I can vouch for him. At that time, I activated the formation and didn't tell Cheng how to use it. So he was basically trapped inside. Ni Qiu explained. As soon as he said that, it directly cleared up all my suspicions. The disciples investigating had no choice but to leave. One bowed and said, "Thank you, senior brother." Back then, Ni Qiu actually taught me how to come and go freely, and how to control the formation. But now Ni Qiu said this, directly distancing me from the issue, making me have nothing to do with it. Once the disciples had left, Ni Qiu asked, "You really didn't kill Lu Changshou, did you?" How could I have? Lu Changshou was at the 7th level of key refining. There's no way I could beat him. That's true.
Niu nodded.
And thought no more of it. Honestly, it's better now that Lu Changshou is gone. No one's going to bother you. Just focus on learning key refining with me. I sighed softly and said nothing more. Just studied formations in peace. As for Lu Changshou, it all just ended without any conclusion. Except for a sword, there were no other clues. That leftover clothing was still hidden underground. Even if they found it, all it would do is confirm Lu Changshou's death. There's no way they'd ever find out it was me. So that's how things stood. I was completely at ease and focused on studying formations. Ni Qiu also taught me the ways of key refining in detail. Key refining looks simple, but it's actually full of difficulties. It's a delicate craft. There are thousands of different formations. The techniques are carried by your understanding from before. When refining with true fire, you'll have already killed the spirit tree with your refining materials. But what we want is a magic tool that can channel our own power, whether that's plants, or materials, or demon beast bones. They all actually hinder the flow of our spiritual power. Hinder. Right, because they're not our own bodies. That's what key refining is all about. Removing that hindrance and turning it into a magic tool through which power flows smoothly, amplifying our spiritual power. So a spirit creature can't possibly be alive. We use true fire to burn away the impurities from the item and temper it by burning and hammering it, completely restructuring it. How could it still be alive? I see, I murmured. But then I began to wonder, if that's the case, what about refining myself? My own body channels my own power, with no resistance at all, smooth as can be. I wouldn't need to burn myself with true fire, so I wouldn't have to die. But to use true fire for tempering, to purge impurities, if that's the case, could I also use true fire to temper my body? But you'd need to be at Foundation establishment to conjure true fire, so I had to give up for now. Let Ni Qiu help with tempering instead. Can't take that risk. If anything is discovered in the process, it wouldn't be tempering. It'd be full-on refining into an elixir of immortality. Ni Qiu continued explaining, we have to use true essence, which is spiritual power, to carve formations onto the magic item. Once you reach Foundation establishment, your spiritual power turns into liquid true essence, which is how you get golden liquid pills. Using spiritual power to carve formations draws in the energy of heaven and earth, nourishing the magic tool and maintaining the tool's spiritual power. Thanks to the energy drawn in by the formations, the magic tool is strong enough and can amplify its user's power. The most basic formation on any magic tool is a small spirit gathering formation. Only the spirit gathering array can imbue magical tools with spiritual power. It continuously nurtures the artifact itself. There's another way. That is to craft a personal lifebound magical tool. This lifebound magical tool is entirely crafted by a tool refiner according to the cultivator's practice method, and forged by them. Normally, unless someone completely can't refine artifacts, they wouldn't ask a refiner for help, because the refiner needs to understand the other's cultivation method and personally forge the lifebound magical tool. They may very well learn the other's weaknesses. Has senior brother ever cared about the lifebound magical tool? I've never received one. Only those at the foundation establishment stage qualify to nurture a lifebound magical tool. A lifebound magical tool needs true energy to be nourished by one's own blood essence. Those at the key condensation stage can't do it. I understand now. Alright, I'll start practicing key now. Here are materials for key condensation stage and methods for forging. Study them yourself first. Niu hands me a storage artifact. I've just stepped into foundation establishment. I need to rest. Banyan level practice. Closed door refining of magical tools. Alright. I take the storage pouch. Leave the house with formation books. I sit in front of the outdoor practice furnace, studying formations. Spirit gathering array, 5 elements maze array, profound crystal array, Suzuki array, illusion array, Lingshu sword formation, and other various refining stage formations. I am immersed in it. These formations are not particularly complex. After all, they're merely at the key condensation level. The best way to learn formations is by drawing them. Draw them on the ground, then destroy them. Even though ground formations are almost useless, because the earth doesn't carry spiritual power, it's impossible to activate the formation. I engrave one formation after another. Spirit gathering array, 5 elements maze array. All formations atop the illusion array are engraved. I try comparing them in my mind. If I engrave these formations on myself, I'd likely need to change my energy flow routes. I can only suppress the idea for now. Wait until I go to the Key Meridian Scripture Library to see if I can find a solution. After mastering the formations, the next step is engraving with spiritual power. I choose a stone as a test subject, or maybe a piece of wood, engraving onto the wood. I don't rush to practice key. I want to be fully prepared, then start forging magical tools. After a day, I only managed to learn the formations. 7 days pass. Formations are fully mastered. Only then do I start engraving onto stones and wood. The stones and wood are too small and brittle. It's very challenging to engrave them. Piece after piece of stone is shattered. Piece after piece of wood is turned to dust. I'm not discouraged. I keep practicing. Half a month goes by in the blink of an eye. I finally succeed in engraving onto stones and wood. Of course, it's just successful engraving. They're still just ordinary wood and stone. They don't have any effect. A crisp sword cry rings out. Niu has finished seclusion. Nikyu's face is radiant. His aura has grown stronger. The magic sword in his hand also radiates spiritual energy waves far surpassing those of the key condensation stage. The foundation establishment magic sword is finally complete. Now I am truly a foundation establishment key practitioner. Congratulations, senior brother, on your Banyan level practice. How are you doing? I've memorized all the formations. I'm still practicing the engraving. You haven't started practicing key yet. Not fully prepared yet? I feel unsure. Formation engraving really is a delicate task. Even a tiny mistake can ruin the magical tool. You're much stronger than I was back then. Back then, I didn't have your patience. I was eager to get hands-on. Ended up ruining a lot of materials. It's all thanks to your good teaching, senior brother. I just feel like I'm not quite there yet. Just go ahead and refine, don't worry. I've already achieved Fengyan. I'll practice quickly and ask you to be patient for now. As my apprentice, the Key Meridian will have materials for you to practice. It's an honor for Changsheng. Greetings, Master. Why call me Master? Still call each other Senior and Junior. Being an apprentice doesn't always mean being a disciple. If not for you, my benefactor, I couldn't have succeeded at Foundation establishment. Niu goes to help handle the key apprentice matter for me. I keep engraving formations. With extreme caution. Wood and stones are engraved by me. All sorts of formations. By nighttime, I've engraved more than 10 items. After Niu returns, he looks at the items on the ground and remarks with surprise. Didn't expect you'd engrave so many in one day. Are you confident to practice key now? I'm confident now. I'll start practicing key tomorrow. 13 apprentice tokens. It means you're apprenticed to number 13 refiner. Thank you, senior brother. I put away the apprentice token. Draw water from the well for a bath. Go back to the room to cultivate. Training body and key without delay. Gradually honing myself. Practicing key during the day. Cultivating at night. Niu does the same. Once at Foundation establishment, cultivation can already replace sleep. On the second day, I start practicing key. Niu instructs me on the side. A raging flame burns a piece of black iron. Under Niu's guidance, I grab the hammer and strike. Hammering, paired with breathing techniques, also has its own skills. Niu remarks calmly. This hammer can also be considered a magical tool. The recoil force from hammering can be used with breathing exercises to temper the body. So it seems. Forging iron during key practice is also a body cultivation method. Of course, when you work with high-grade materials, you need to use more spiritual energy. If you don't combine it with breathing exercises, even at key condensation level 8, it's hard to withstand. I see. Give all hammering jobs to me from now on. I'm passionate about body training. I love it. I'll eventually become a Changsheng tree that no one can bite through. With Niu's guidance, I adjust my breathing. A faint amount of spiritual energy from heaven and earth enters my body with each breath. The hammer's recoil spreads throughout my body. Along with breathing techniques, it tempers my body with spiritual energy. This kind of tempering is much slower than cultivating alone. But it's valuable for long-term accumulation. The black iron changes shape under the hammer. Some impurities are shaken out in the process. Repeated hammering. After a day, it has become a piece of pure black iron. Most of the impurities have been removed. The art of artifact refinement cannot be mastered overnight. Keep practicing. Niu turns and goes back to his room. I return to my room to continue cultivating. Second day, hammering and smelting minerals. Crafting a magical sword takes more than just a piece of black iron. Other materials are needed as well. And that's only for ordinary magical tools. Some special magical swords contain various attributes requiring different forging methods. 3 days straight are spent handling materials. It isn't until the 4th day that all materials are refined into pure molten iron. Luckily, I had ready-made templates. You just need to smooth the molten iron before it solidifies. Imprint the formation onto it. These materials themselves are of key refining quality. They're considered spiritual items. Although they're tougher than wood and stone, they're still molten iron right now. Still need to be careful. Multiple materials fused together. Meld them using spiritual power. The formation is infused inside. This magic sword, I carved the spirit gathering formation and the profound crystal formation. The spirit gathering formation gathers spiritual energy, nurturing the sword. It strengthens the wielder's sword techniques. The profound crystal formation draws upon the metal element power between heaven and earth, making the sword even sharper. It can easily break through magic weapons of the same level. Now I finally understand why I couldn't block the magic sword. Not to mention metal subdues wood, just the erase enhancement alone. Even with my body, I wouldn't be able to stop a magic weapon of the same rank. By noon the next day, the magic sword had cooled down. It's now able to gather spiritual power on its own. The blade radiates a sharp aura. It's done. You have a real talent for this. You succeeded the first time you practiced ki refining. Niu praised. Back then, I wasn't as patient as you. My grasp of formations was shallow, but I started ki refining anyway. I failed several times. It was only because senior brothers taught me diligently. Keep practicing. Forge more of the lower grade ones. When you're confident, make mid-grade and high-grade ones. If you want cultivation resources in the ki vein, you need to craft magic tools. Each tool earns you a ki and blood pill. 10 tools get you 1 ki refining pill. I'll do my best. Once you can make superior magic tools, I'll take you to accept forging commissions. That's where the real rewards are. Forging commissions? Yes, sect tasks. I heard Lingjian Peak even has missions like hunting monsters and searching for spiritual herbs. Each division has its own tasks. Disciples may take whichever they want. The Dan vein refines pills. The Ki vein forges tools. Many cultivators outside can't refine artifacts, so they commission us. Sometimes we even have to leave the sect to refine tools at the client's home. These usually pay quite well. Half goes to the sect. But within the sect, there are plenty of orders and resources. Is it dangerous outside? Usually not. Unless someone tries to cheat you, withholds payment, and silences witnesses. That almost never happens. I've never encountered it. It's more dangerous for Lingjian Peak disciples. They're out there fighting monsters and demons, always in combat. You never know when they'll lose their lives. Of course, they earn much more. That's how it should be. They're risking their lives for it. Yeah, they're earning with their lives. The two then chatted a bit more about artifact forging and went back to their rooms to cultivate. The next morning, they continued refining. I'm going to use every trick I know and truly master formations. I'll get skilled at making lower grade tools. After that, I started speeding up as well. Every time Niu finished forging, he'd come and give me tips. My body also grew stronger little by little during refining. Focused on refining, ignoring the outside world. Half a year flew by. I reached ki refining level 7, body cultivation to level 7 too. Both honed to the extreme. About to break through to level 8. Now I'm already able to skillfully forge mid-grade magic tools. I'm deeply familiar with all kinds of formations. Started forging high-grade tools. Handling superior materials is quite tricky. It takes me half a month just to process them. The refining furnace still uses mortal fire, so melting the materials takes too long. I've also made 3 formation plates. The 5 elements mazeward array, the formation shifting plate, and the Lingshu sword formation. Kept in my storage pouch, ready to use at any moment. This past half year, Niu Wendao hasn't come to visit me. I've occasionally gone to the library to read, and happened to overhear stories about the genius Niu Wendao. Legend had it that during the grand tournament between the 3 divisions, Niu Wendao beat someone at ki refining level 9, defeated Changchun, and took first place. He outshone everyone, became the #1 prodigy. Changchun was believed to be the 7-day ki refining sect leader's successor, yet was no match for Niu Wendao. Niu Wendao took my advice, became polite to everyone, was very filial to his master, and respected his senior brothers and sisters immensely. He was basically perfect. Some even said, if he weren't a demon, he would have inherited the sect leader position. But for Niu Wendao, his legend is just beginning. He often leads his fellow disciples down the mountain to hunt demons and monsters. Living as a human, he's very much like a real person. If not for his blue ox form, and his inability to take human shape yet, there would be no difference between him and a human. As for being friends with me, no one mentions it. Niu Wendao never brought it up either, as if he'd forgotten about it. I'm actually glad about that. Finally, I'm not in the spotlight anymore. Changsheng, I found a great job for us. A client wants a 100-year cold iron forged into a foundation establishment stage sword, with a bottle of true essence pills as reward. He also needs 2 key refining swords forged, rewarding 2 bottles of high-grade key refining pills. Perfect for us to go. Is it far? No, it's just 30 miles away in Zhongyang City. Lingshu Grotto Heaven. 30 miles away, Zhongyang City is part of the great human country, Deqian. Regular folk and cultivators live together inside the city. It's controlled by 3 great families. Even the city lord needs to be wary of the 3 families. Niu led me around the city. As disciples of Lingshu Grotto Heaven, we don't need to be afraid. The 3 families are strong, but they're only at foundation establishment. There are no golden core cultivators in Zhongyang City. There used to be. When the great master Zhongyang resided here, even our Lingshu Grotto Heaven had to give him face. Unfortunately, he left no successors. Now Lord Jin the Huandan is called a great master. But even he can't withstand the passage of time. Master Zhongyang protected this city for 200 years. He fought almost every neighboring sect. Sometimes he won, sometimes lost. In 200 years, did our Lingshu Grotto Heaven win or lose? Of course we won. But Master Zhongyang fought so often, he ended up with many hidden injuries, and only lived just over 200 years. That was much more than just fighting duels. It was really risking his life. With a lifespan of 300 years, he burned nearly 100 years away fighting. I looked around the area. Many cultivators avoided us, keeping their distance. It's all because our robes have Lingshu embroidered on them. Lingshu Grotto Heaven is quite famous in Zhongyang City. While talking, the 2 arrived at a residence. A sign high above the front gate read Green Willow Courtyard. Knocking on the front gate, an old man opened the door to welcome us and invited us inside. In the courtyard stood an old willow tree, lush and full of leaves. A young man and woman sat beneath the tree, resting. Lingshu Grotto Heaven. Niu from the Qi vein. Greetings, fellow Taoists. This is my junior apprentice, Lu Changshou. The elder returned the greeting. I am Lu Cheng, the old man. Those 2 are my grandsons. Once their cultivation is finished, they'll come pay their respects. That's not necessary. Let's get straight to the point. Liu Qing nodded. With a wave of his hand, 3 ores appeared. A piece of cold iron the size of an adult's head, emitting a bone-chilling cold. Even my peak 7th layer key cultivation can't withstand it. The other 2 pieces are much smaller, only half the size of the cold iron. One is crimson red, radiating heat, actually able to counter the cold aura. The last piece is green, with wisps of breeze swirling around it. Niu looked surprised. Cold iron, scarlet flame stone, and gentle breeze stone. Quite a fortunate opportunity to get these 3 fine materials, passed down from my ancestors. I trouble you 2 fellow cultivators to forge them into magic swords. How long might that take? Cold iron alone is enough to forge a foundation establishment magic sword. The other 2 pieces are indeed a bit small. Any other supplementary materials left? I'm unable to. I can only rely on my ancestral foundation. Only these 3 divine stones remain. I have a suggestion. Not sure if it's appropriate to say. Please speak. Maybe the gentle breeze stone and scarlet essence stone can be merged to forge a blazing wind sword. It will certainly become a mid-grade foundation establishment magic sword. A mid-grade magic sword. Wind fuels the fire, and fire strengthens the wind. After merging them, they will manifest their power. I understand this reasoning. But I have 2 disciples. They also each need a weapon. Only then can I protect them. Could I ask you fellow cultivators to add some materials? As long as we can make 2 good magic swords, it's no problem to add some materials. Then I'll trouble you with it. For the cold iron sword, you can use some leftover scraps. Feel free to take what you need. Niu nodded slightly, quite satisfied with Lu Qing's suggestion. After all, we're here to temper qi. There's no reason to put in more than we get. Both the Scarlet Flame Stone and Gentle Breeze Stone are sizable. And such a big piece of cold iron. We should have some materials left over no matter what.
Even if it's just some leftovers.
Over time, those scraps can come in handy. His Foundation Establishment magic sword can only be considered an ordinary magic sword. It doesn't have any special attributes. Lu Qing poured some tea. Is there a furnace here? Niu didn't say more. I stood quietly beside him. Soon, the young man and woman finished their cultivation and came to greet us. I returned the greeting as well. Both of them are quite young, about 16 or 17 years old. The young man is handsome.
His name is Lu Shan.
The girl's name is Lu Qingyu. Half her face is very beautiful, but the other half has a red birthmark, ruined the overall beauty. After introductions, Lu Qing led us to an underground chamber. It's incredibly quiet here. There's no disturbance. The two take the rare stones and enter the chamber. Niu said I was going to let you give it a try, but there's no forge here. And they're all rare stones. Senior brother with such rare items. I don't dare handle them either. I'll wait outside while you have some fun, senior brother. I've never been out before. Niu flipped his hand and pulled out a pouch of coins. There are some big coins here. You can buy some trinkets. I'll find a room to cultivate. I don't want to go out. Take it, just in case you need it. Niu handed the items to me. These 3 spirit stones are troublesome to deal with. If you want to forge them into a magic sword, it'll take at least 4 or 5 months. Only then did I accept the coin pouch and left the chamber, just about to ask Lu Qing for a room to cultivate in. Lu Qing said you can practice under that tree. There's a spirit gathering array there. Sounds good. I nodded slightly and went under the old willow tree. The spiritual energy here is indeed rich, but there's a faint aura of demon energy. The demon energy is very faint. If I weren't a tree demon myself and extra sensitive, I probably wouldn't have noticed it. I glanced at the old willow tree. The willow tree was perfectly still, showing nothing unusual. Lu Xian and Lu Qingyu went out to have fun. I settled down to cultivate. There was no shortage of spiritual energy. Niu secluded himself in the alchemy room. I visualized the heaven and earth within myself, absorbing spiritual energy from the world. Lingshu profound art, circulating slowly as I run my cultivation method. When Lu Qing wasn't paying attention, the old willow tree swayed slightly and started absorbing spiritual energy too. But my attention was focused. The old willow tree really has developed a spirit. Cultivating outside, I can't fully immerse myself. The willow tree is just cultivating and doesn't disturb me. After a whole day of cultivation, I sense the bottleneck of the 8th layer, gradually polishing. A breakthrough will come in time. Lu Shan and Lu Qingyu came back. Lu Qing had already prepared a meal and called me to eat together. I joined them for some food and brought a meal to Niu. Delivering food to Niu also became my task. The 3 of them wouldn't approach the chamber, so as not to seem like they're snooping. Also worried that their lack of experience in artifact forging would disturb Niu. I continued my cultivation at night. When I got tired, I leaned against the old willow tree to sleep. The next morning, Lu Xian and Lu Qingyu also came to practice, but only for half a day. Not like me, who spends all my time cultivating except for meals. Seeing this, Lu Cheng scolded the 2 of them. Look at this disciple from Dongshan. So diligent. And then look at you two. The 2 of them were quite ashamed, vowed to work hard. Practice half a day more that day. For young people like them.
Cultivation is nowhere near as exciting as the outside world.
I settled into Qingliu courtyard, peacefully. Cultivating every day. Tempering myself. Niu entered the chamber, not stepping out once. Focused on key cultivation. After Lu Shan and Lu Qingyu worked hard for half a day, they went back to their lazy ways. Lu Qing was helpless and didn't say much anymore. I kept cultivating while keeping an eye on the old willow tree. The old willow tree must have just started cultivating. Its mind is still hazy, not fully a demon cultivator yet, since we're both tree spirits. I'll help it gather some spiritual energy to speed up its cultivation. After all, I've hit a bottleneck anyway. It's just polishing from here. And I don't need too much spiritual energy. When it's time for a meal, I eat on time. Liu Xian and Liu Qingyu never came back at noon. It's just me and Liu Qing. Sometimes Liu Qing asks about Lingshu Cave Heaven. Looks like he wants the siblings to join Lingshu Cave Heaven for training. I heard your Lingshu sect has 2 prodigies. Niu Wendao, the ancient monster of Long Spring and bloodline master who reached key condensation in 7 days. Their fame has already spread even here. They've come to Zhongyan City more than once, and even had a few run-ins with the 3 big families. It's hard not to know about them. Anyone who asks around has probably heard of them. Seems they're really popular now. So youthful and spirited. Who doesn't want to make a mark in the world? I've heard of Niu Wendao, though an ancient demon azure ox. He's actually polite and well-mannered. Treats his juniors and fellow apprentices kindly. I've heard as much myself. You don't know them personally? They're in a different group. My senior brother and I are only average in key cultivation. We've always practiced on our peak. Only heard of them through rumors. That makes sense. Geniuses like that are honestly hard to meet. Given my status and position, it's normal that I can't get close to Niu Wendao and his group. But from what I've heard outside, it seems there's some discord between Changshou and Niu Wendao. As for that, I've never heard of any problems between them. About 2 months ago, they fought over a spiritual herb. Niu Wendao seized the herb. I heard Changchun was seriously injured at the time. He vowed to break Niu's horn. And then what happened? No one knows what happened after that. I just heard these things in the city. I didn't say much. Returned to the old willow tree to cultivate. Niu Wendao and Changchun have long been rivals. Trying to enslave Niu Wendao. For a demon, it's a deadly hatred. I just didn't expect it to escalate outside the city. Even in Zhongyang City, news of their discord has spread. Shutting oneself away to cultivate sounds good, but these 2 geniuses fighting is not so great. But none of this concerns me. Just focus on cultivating. Reach key refining level 8 as soon as possible. Day after day passes. In the blink of an eye, I've been in Qingliu Courtyard for a month. I finally broke through my bottleneck. Everything came naturally. Entered key refining level 8. Thick spiritual power flows through my whole body, surging into every limb and bone. Even my body and my mind grew an inch taller. My breakthrough was noticed by Lu Qing not far away. Heaven rewards diligent people. Congratulations, young friend, on your great progress. My talent is poor, so all I can do is work hard. I replied with a smile. Liu Qing said no more. Let me focus on consolidating my cultivation. Spiritual power from key refining level 8 flows through my body. That feeling of breaking through makes me feel extremely powerful. But after glancing at my main body, any feeling of power vanished. Key refining level 8. The longevity technique becomes even tastier. If before I tasted soft, now it's slightly crispy. When evening came, Liu Xian and his sister returned and got scolded again by Liu Qing. Used me as an example. I didn't expect it. That one day, I would become someone else's child in other people's words. Of course I won't say much. Return to my room to rest. It's already been a month since I came to Qingliu Courtyard. Niekyu is still processing the materials. Those 3 pieces are really hard. Plus their special attributes. It must be handled very carefully. Knock the sound of someone at the door. I opened the door to see Liu Shan. Liu Shan, my friend, what brings you here so late at night? Tomorrow, Niu Wendao will come to Zhongyao City. Brother Li is a Lingshu cave disciple. Why not come with us to meet him? I'm from the Key Vessel branch. Not familiar with him. Low status. Even if I go, he won't see me. I really don't want to meet Niu Wendao right now. He's too much in the spotlight. People are all vying to get his attention. Why rush over myself? That's an ancient demon bloodline. You all call him Lingsu's top genius. Aren't you tempted? If he gains power and becomes the sect leader one day, you'd be successful too. The gap is too big. Disciples like me, too many minor talents. I won't even be noticed. I shook my head again. Liu Shan's logic is flawed. Changchun, the sect leader's successor, is still around. He really thinks talent alone can win the position. There's another thing. Niu Wendao is a demon. The sect is human. Letting an ancient demon lead the sect, the issue of race, means that no matter how talented he is, he can't possibly become the sect leader. Even if Changchun suddenly loses his mind and passes leadership to him, no one else would agree. Seeing I'm completely unmoved, Liu Shan seemed disappointed and had to leave. I thought my status as a Lingshu cave disciple would let me meet Niu Wendao. If I could get his favor and join Lingshu cave, I wouldn't be an ordinary disciple anymore. Life would be so much easier. I shook my head and sighed. Liu Shan won't rest properly, still thinking about shortcuts. The next day, Liu Shan and his sister went out again. I went to the old willow tree to rest. Young friend, I'm heading out for a bit. Lunch is on the stove. Please heat it up yourself. Go ahead and do your errands, senior. Lu Qing probably isn't at ease about the siblings. Worried about them, going directly to see Niu Wendao. I didn't care and focused on cultivation. Looked up at the old willow tree. For your tough cultivation, let me help you too. In my mind, I recalled the tree demon's cultivation method. Recited it to the old willow tree. The old willow had just awakened its spiritual intelligence. Still can't speak. Swayed its trunk to show gratitude. At the same time, the old willow gathered spiritual energy and showed me its own cultivation method. I smiled, didn't say more. The old willow only recently awakened its spiritual intelligence. Its cultivation method is too crude. Doesn't have much effect. A green glow rose from the ground. Silent and unnoticed. A green finger emerged from the earth. I was stunned. That green finger is obviously not human. It's made of stone, but covered with dense patterns. I was examining the index finger, maybe because it's so ancient, and the old willow absorbed some essence into it. But the patterns on it attracted me. They look like advanced formations. This finger should be the treasure that awakened the old willow's intelligence. Its essence became nourishment for the old willow. I gathered spiritual energy for the willow tree and asked about its origin. Do you know where this came from? The old willow swayed. A burst of spiritual power entered my mind. A huge figure appeared in my mind. A wave of ancient aura flowed out, like some ancient being reviving in my mind. A giant green figure several meters tall was awakened. Its whole body seems made of stone. Each stone is covered with dense patterns. That index finger is just its pinky, except for the patterns on the pinky. All the rest couldn't be seen clearly. The old willow only knew it was a stone person, but not all the patterns. I was shocked. A stone person. Are those patterns ancient demon runes? Lingshu Cave.
Has records about ancient demons.
Inherited ancient bloodlines. Possesses ancient magical abilities. Ancient demon runes are the legacy hidden in their bloodlines. These runes only appear when an ancient demon triggers its bloodline power. Using ancient bloodline power. Stories say cultivators have learned techniques and powerful abilities from demon runes, learning cultivation and great spells from them. Unfortunately, ancient demons are too rare. Lingshu Cave has no record of ancient demon runes. Only a few mentions. As for Niu Wendao, he's still too young. His cultivation is shallow. At best, he can trigger a trace of bloodline power. It's impossible for him to activate ancient demon runes. While I was thinking, it was already midday. I reheated the food and went to the secret room. Finally processed 2 pieces. Only 1 Qian stone left. Thank you for your hard work, senior brother. Taking payment means helping others. So it's not really hard work. By the way, how are things outside? Did you go out for a stroll? There's a spirit gathering array in the courtyard. I've stayed inside to cultivate. Improved a little. Hey, don't put all your energy into cultivation. Life is long. Enjoy more. I didn't reply. My life is long. My longevity is endless. I'll have plenty of time to play in the future. For now, I focus on cultivation. Gotta ensure I can protect myself. Parting with Niekyu, I returned to the old willow tree. Liu Qing and the others still hadn't returned. Placed my hand on the old willow. Gathered spiritual power for it. Helped it refine the ancient demon. Though the index finger had no more essence, it gave me inspiration. I wonder, can formation and printing be like ancient demon runes? Unfortunately, I only have one index finger. If only I had an entire ghoul corpse to study. It would be so much better after helping old Willow finish cultivating. I also started trying to carve the patterns from the ghoul's index finger onto wood. Even though it's just a small part of the body's runes, they are, after all, ancient demon runes. Carving them is much harder than any formation I've learned. But I just need to practice more. I have patience and time. By dusk, Liu Qing and Liu Xian finally came back. Both Liu Xian and Liu Qing looked obviously upset. Liu Qing's face was dark with anger. I sensibly kept my distance. Not long after, the sounds of yelling and scolding came from inside the house. And also Liu Qingyu's crying. Luckily, Liu Qing didn't forget that there were sinners in the secret chamber waiting to be fed. After delivering the food, I resumed my cultivation. Liu Xian and Liu Qingyu also came in. Both had slap marks on their faces. Clearly, they'd been beaten. I still didn't say anything, just quietly cultivated on my own. All the way until late at night, Liu Qing told them to rest. Only then did he leave. I finished my cultivation for the day as well, and got ready to head back to my room. But I saw Liu Qingyu's door was open. Liu Qingyu came out. She made a gesture for me to be quiet, and started walking towards me. You almost went to the wrong place today, and nearly couldn't come back. Liu Qingyu sighed. Luckily, Grandpa arrived in time and took us away. Weren't we supposed to be seeking Niu Wendao for advice? Turns out we went to the wrong place. I grew even more puzzled. Yeah, everyone said Niu Wendao would be at Kindling Inn. Who knew it was actually Changchun? Thank goodness my birthmark is ugly. Otherwise, I would have lost my innocence to them. I finally understood. So this was about seeking Niu Wendao, but they ended up finding Changchun. There was already enmity between them to begin with. Yelling greetings to Master Niu Wendao, the prodigy right in front of Changchun, is basically asking for trouble. That's like rushing to your own death. Is Changchun really that vile? To actually try something indecent with you. Liu Qingyu's half face is indeed beautiful. If someone only saw half her face at that moment, it would be easy to have improper thoughts. But Lingshu Grotto Heaven is at least a proper sect, and a prestigious orthodox one at that. It wasn't Changchun. It was someone who followed Changchun. His name is Han Zhuyuan or something like that. He's really not a good person. You know Han Zhuyuan? I've just heard about him. Better focus on your cultivation from now on. And stay away from them. Lingshu Grotto Heaven isn't as great as you think. Got it. Grandpa originally wanted us to enter Lingshu Grotto Heaven, so we'd have some protection. Looks like we'll have to join some other sect now. Although we didn't exactly offend Changchun, we did leave a deep impression on Han Zhuyuan. If we entered Lingshu Grotto Heaven, and Niu Wendao didn't look out for us, life would be miserable. Lingshu Grotto Heaven isn't the only sect around Zhongyang City. There's also Shiyu Grotto Heaven and Kingshuan Grotto Heaven. Although those two aren't as good as Lingshu, the gap isn't that large. Recently, Lingshu Grotto Heaven has the 7-day foundation building training, and Changchun is also an ancient demon. Niu Wendao's fame has completely overshadowed the other two sects. With your age and talent, you should have joined a sect much earlier. Back then, our family still had some resources. But now that it's all lost, joining a sect is our only choice. Maybe a Western region sect would suit you better? Liu Qingyu opened her mouth, like she still wanted to say something. I shook my head and said, I know what you want to say. You think that since I'm a disciple of Lingshu Grotto Heaven, and my senior brother is a foundation establishment body cultivator, we could help connect you guys? Liu Qingyu nodded repeatedly, her face full of hope. I shook my head and said, my senior brother and I have never had any contact with Changchun, and I've only heard Han Zhuyun's name. He often asks disciples for pills. Thus, to avoid him, Liu Qingyu was silent. Just focus on your cultivation. Cultivation should always come first. Fighting and violence will only shorten your lifespan. Just think, perfected Zhongyang turned into a pill tonight and lost his more than 200 years of cultivation. What's so good about fighting and killing? Isn't it better to just cultivate in peace? You really think everyone is a genius like Niu Wendao? I understand. From now on, I'll devote myself to cultivation. Liu Qingyu went back to her room, showing she remembered what I said. Whether she really remembered or was just being polite is beyond my control. I glanced at Lu Shan, who was also still awake in the room. He's been in there listening the whole time. Maybe even old Liu Qing didn't sleep either. I went back to rest and continued my cultivation the next day. Lu Shan and Liu Qingyu didn't go out again and devoted themselves to cultivation. Old Liu Qing looked truly comforted by this, although that comfort didn't last long. After only 2 or 3 days behind closed doors, Lu Shan couldn't sit still anymore. He went out for a stroll. Liu Qingyu, on the other hand, managed to stay put and didn't go out again. I also focused on cultivation as usual, carving ancient demon runes. After 3 days, I finally succeeded. I discovered that wood carved with the ancient demon runes became extremely hard. Harder than stone. If I infused it with spiritual power, its strength could rival even a basic magic sword. That result made me very happy. If I could carve them onto my own body, no one of the same level would be able to harm me. But I still need to do more research. For example, besides being sturdy, what else might these demon runes do? I ended up using the money from the Sinner Ball and found a blacksmith shop nearby. I rented a place, since my storage bag holds plenty of crafting materials. I started making some simple magic tools, not caring about their shape, just caring about speed. Even if it's just a lump of iron, it'll do. 3 days passed. I branded the index finger rune onto an iron badge. The badge became even tougher. Low-quality materials combined with the index finger rune could match medium-grade quality. It's an almost full tier of improvement. And this is just the rune from a ghoul's pinky finger. It can already boost an item's grade. Imagine how powerful a whole body's worth of runes would be. No wonder ancient demons were all prodigies, with such terrifying bloodlines. Will Wendao someday awaken runes all over his body too? How strong would he be then? I shook my head, pushing those thoughts aside. I activated my spiritual power and channeled it into the iron badge. The rune lit up, and an ancient aura spread out. My spiritual power was also amplified. Suddenly, my vision blurred, as if I saw a colossal ancient stone giant, howling at the sky, letting out an earth-shattering roar. The whole world trembled. Pattern-like lines intertwined everywhere, and my own spiritual power was boiling within me, drawn by the runes. The stone giant's left pinky finger shone with dazzling light. A heavy aura rolled out. The ghoul's pinky finger slowly descended, like a mountain, slamming into the ground and creating a huge pit. I tried to sense the rune's properties carefully. Dense and sturdy, enhanced by spiritual energy. Ghouls could condense runes, so I wonder if it would work on me too. I muttered to myself, these runes can be used for key refining. They could even be called a more advanced array. Ever since I started practicing key refining with the Sinner Ball, I've always pondered this issue, but never actually tried it out. Now, with the appearance of the ghoul runes, I finally see some hope. Normally, when branding formations for key refining, cultivators change materials according to their needs, refining tools suitable for channeling spiritual energy. But my own body doesn't need to be changed. What needs to be changed are the formations and runes, so that they suit myself. Although I can't do it yet, it does let me forge better treasures. I muse that since I'm just idle anyway, I can reforge my magic weapons. If it weren't for top-grade weapons being too time-consuming, I'd really want to try. I wonder if these 10-finger runes can enhance the properties of top-grade magic weapons. If they can truly enhance them, then mid-grade magic weapons could become top-grade weapons. I calmed myself down and focused on forging magic weapons. I melted down the previous mid-grade magic sword, even though some materials would be wasted. But if it can improve the grade, then this bit of waste is worth it. Every day I soaked myself in the forge and went home at noon and night to deliver meals. At night I cultivated. My diligence actually inspired Liu Qingyu. As for Lu Shan, he still can't sit still. After a few days of cultivation, he has to go out to play for a day. Even though Liu Shan plays around, he also guarantees not to cause trouble. He doesn't think about finding Niu Wendao for advice anymore. Now he just strolls around and chats with other cultivators. Today's exchanges were highly beneficial. Farewell for now, fellow Dao friends. Liu Qing secretly followed for a few days to make sure Lu Xian was really acting this way, before finally relaxing. When Liu Qingyu gets tired from cultivation, she also follow along and unwind for a day. After all, constant cultivation is really monotonous. I was completely absorbed in energy training and cultivation, studying index finger runes. The mid-grade magic weapons successfully upgraded to a top-grade one, and the low-grade ones became mid-grade. Every sword became sturdy and hefty. If ordinary cultivators of the same realm held them, they'd all feel the weight, but they could still swing them. Before, ordinary wood and stone didn't have much feeling, but now with magic weapons, the heft is obvious. I spent a whole month at the forge, and finished upgrading all the mid and low-grade magic swords I brought with me. One evening I returned to Qingliu courtyard, and had just entered the door when I heard Liu Shan talking excitedly about Niu Wendao's exploits. Niu Wendao is really impressive. He challenged 3 major family disciples in succession outside, and seized spiritual herbs. My heart skipped a beat. How come Niu doesn't know how to keep a low profile? Even with the support of Lingshu Cave Heaven, the masters from Changchun's side. If real trouble comes, they might not intervene. Those 3 major families have been entrenched in Zhongyang City for years, and care about saving face. Niu Wendao could easily get himself into trouble. Brother Li Dao, you're back. Let me tell you, Niu Wendao is truly formidable. The 3 major families are usually tyrannical, and whenever resources appear, they're usually theirs. Sometimes, even after you get a spiritual herb, they rob and kill for it. But this time, Niu Wendao did us all a great favor. Yeah, I heard Niu Wendao swept through those disciples with an iron mirror. Later, some people from the 3 major families came to help, hoping to team up against him. Niu Wendao struck once, and swept through them all. He defeated more than 10 people, scaring them off in panic. Impressive. These are things to talk about at home, but don't spread them outside. The 3 major families in Zhongyang City are too powerful, Grandpa. We understand. Liu Qingyu and Lu Shan responded quickly. I got up to deliver food to Niekyu. When I came out, they were still talking about Niu Wendao. After Niu Wendao defeated them, naturally he returned to the city. But where he lives now is unknown. Some say he went to the Xianling Inn. Others say he was invited by the city lord. City lord's invitation? The city lord has been fighting the 3 major families for years. Now that Niu Wendao has appeared, he naturally wants to entice him for support. Liu Qing is elderly and sees things clearly. If they can use Niu Wendao to draw Lingshu Cave Heaven in, the 3 major families wouldn't be a threat. Elder really sees through things. So, Elder, what do you think Niu Wendao will choose? I don't know. I'm not Niu Wendao. But the best plan would be to go along with it, forming an alliance, and join forces with the city lord against the 3 families. But I worry Niu Wendao is young and naive, and doesn't understand social realities. He might be taken advantage of. I also worry he'll try to act clever, see through the city lord's motives, and when the city lord tries to draw him in, he'll offend even the city lord grandpa. Lingshu Cave Heaven will surely protect him. But Lingshu Cave Heaven may have fierce internal strife too. I said no more, and went back to rest. Changshou and Niu Wendao are like water and fire. They're now enemies. Aside from his own master, Niu Wendao might not be able to call in any other elders or experts. As Lu Changshou said, let's see what Niu Wendao decides. He offended the 3 major families, defeated more than 10 of them, so it's hard for things to end peacefully. Bai Yuquan, huh? I murmured softly, remembering what Niu Wendao said. Bai Yuquan wants Niu Wendao to become the senior disciple and compete for the master's position. 3 branches martial competition. Defeat Changchun. The more brilliant Niu Wendao is, the better Bai Elder looks. Too bad this Elder Bai isn't as perceptive as Lu Chang. Forget it, I'll just pay more attention tomorrow. If I'm powerless, I can't do anything. I focused on cultivation, refining my body. Without qi and blood pills or fresh meat as nutrition, my body training slowed down. I calculated my progress, and at this rate, it'll be 2 more months before I reach the peak of body training layer 7. As for energy cultivation, I'm still some distance from mid-stage of layer 8. There's still a ways to go. When day came, I left Qingliu courtyard and didn't visit the forge again, but wandered around taverns and inns in the city, paying attention to news about Niu Wendao. Niu Wendao has already become Zhongyang City's hot topic among cultivators. He's now a household name. Last night, Niu Wendao went to the city lord's mansion, but came out looking very unhappy. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. Did Niu Wendao offend the city lord too? Does Niu have some new backing, or has his mind been drained dry by mosquitoes? As for Niu Wendao's exact location, no one knows. Some say he's still in the city. Some say he left Zhongyang City overnight. Where exactly? No one is clear. I went around several locations in the city, but didn't find any disciples of Lingshu Cave Heaven. So I had to return to Qingliu Courtyard. Back at Qingliu Courtyard, Liu Shan's news was about the same as mine. Liu Qingyu started diligently cultivating again. He now understood the importance of cultivation. Went to his room to cultivate. Tomorrow I'll continue researching the 10-finger runes. Niekyu is always busy every day, so I can't ask for guidance right now. At this stage of research, it's all about how to modify the runes and formations so they fit oneself. It feels a bit like customizing a magic weapon. Understand how cultivators channel their energy, then forge the right magic weapon for them. That way, the cultivator doesn't change. Only the magic weapon does. This demon rune condenses onto the ancient demon's body, but the ancient demon can't alter its energy flow. When researching the flesh-eating rune, the flesh-eating ancient demon's body is definitely not weaker than most magic weapons. I suppressed my thoughts and focused on cultivation. The next morning I continued cultivating, delivered meals at noon, and used the excuse of visiting the forge, but actually went out to gather news about Niu Wendao. Niu Wendao has gone missing. Along with him, everyone around him has vanished without a trace. It's as if they evaporated into thin air. No one knows where Niu Wendao went. The 3 major families are also sending people to search everywhere. Some speculate he might have returned to the Lingshu Grotto Heaven. Others guess he offended the city lord and was secretly assassinated by him. I don't believe the talk of assassination. It's more likely he was harmed by Changchun. After all, Niu Wendao is the top talent of the Lingshu Grotto Heaven. At his current level, these people wouldn't dare to deal a killing blow. Even if they caught him, they would just punish Niu Wendao. In the end, whether he can be killed still depends on the Lingshu Grotto Heaven. I've been paying close attention. There's been no news of Niu Wendao for half a month. I can only go back and focus on my cultivation. Niu Wendao should be fine. Otherwise, after half a month, It's impossible that Elder Bai Yuquan would have no reaction. I calm my mind to cultivate and deliver meals to Ni Qiong. Ni Qiong just put down the materials in his hand, wiping the sweat from his forehead. This kind of strange stone is truly difficult to refine. Senior brother, your methods are superb. If it were an ordinary blacksmith, they probably wouldn't be able to handle these 3 strange stones. It's all thanks to the wind and cloud tempering technique. The refining method is extraordinary. Otherwise, I really wouldn't know how to start with these strange stones. I heard you say before that you rented a blacksmith shop outside. I wonder if you've run into any difficulties. I've encountered some problems. I'll ask for your guidance once you finish refining the artifacts and return to the sect. Just go ahead and say it. Matters of artifact refining at the mere key refining stage shouldn't take much effort. I decided to take this opportunity to seek guidance from senior brother Ni Qiong. My confusion is as follows. I'm thinking about how to custom make artifacts for someone. I also want to custom make an artifact for myself, but I don't know the refining method or how to change the formation imprints. I thought it was some major problem. Custom making an artifact. The difficulty lies in finding materials that are compatible with oneself. The materials are fine. General artifacts can be used by anyone. But these 3 strange stones possess their own unique attributes. They require a suitable practitioner. Custom making an artifact is almost always about finding strange stones suitable for the practitioner. Then what about the formation methods? I am the material myself, so there's no need to search further. What doubts do you have about formations? These 3 artifacts are all different. But when has the formation ever changed? My mind suddenly cleared up. One bowed and said, "Thank you, senior brother, for clearing my doubts." Changsheng understands now. Whether it's swords, spears, sabers, or halberds, or even wood and stones, a formation is still a formation. It never changes. It's just that for different bodies, the positions for imprinting the formations are different. I only need to follow my own body to imprint the formation, and that's enough. No need to be so polite with me. If there's anything you don't understand in the future, just ask me. I left the secret room, returned to my room to practice my cultivation, and studied my own body. Before long, I held out my index finger and began to study it, recalling the shadow of the man-eater I had sensed before. During the battle of the 10 people, the runes all over the body lit up. Should I imprint my whole body or just parts of it? As for the issue of replacing them with better formations later, I wasn't worried. If I can directly replace the imprinted formation, that would be best. If not, I'll just destroy it. At most, it'll hurt for a while. With my endless vitality, even if I get injured, I'll recover before long. I cultivated peacefully, studying my own body. My true form swayed, covered in countless blood-red veins. I went into secluded cultivation. Except for meal times when I'd come out, I stayed locked in my room. Liu Qing and his grandchildren didn't disturb me. Liu Qing cooked, Liu Qingyu cultivated, and Liu Shan would cultivate for a few days before going out to relax. Day after day, I circulated my cultivation technique, and the body tempering method circulated along with it. I know my own situation very well, but I still need to be cautious. 7 days passed. Only then did I begin to use spiritual power to transform, opening up rune pathways within my body. I also had to imprint the 10-finger runes. Although the 10-finger runes are incomplete, for me at the key refining stage, they are the best. Even the key vein formations can't compare at all. The 10-finger runes, with that sense of heaviness and solidity, are exactly what I need. Of course, the profound gold formation is also essential, to make my whole body like a dharma sword. With sharpness following, the index finger rune was imprinted onto my main body. The bloodshot veins seemed to come alive, crisscrossing over the tree trunk. A steady and heavy aura spread out from my main body. The index finger rune was successfully imprinted. Next was the profound crystal sword formation. The blood veins intertwined again, flowing vividly. A sharp aura radiated, as if a Dharma sword was taking shape. My palms turned into branches, my legs turned into roots, and a slightly ancient aura spread out, like an ancient demon awakening. Fortunately, this aura was quickly restrained, and didn't startle the grandfather and grandchildren. I was immersed in cultivation. Spiritual power flowed through my whole body. I felt the power in my entire body seemed to have increased several-fold. Every movement was filled with terror. A forceful flip of the palm felt like a mountain, as if I had turned into that ancient man-eating demon. Of course, I couldn't actually become an ancient man-eating demon. I just imprinted its runes. I stayed in the room for a full 7 days, before waking from my cultivation. Spiritual power flows through my whole body, but the consumption is quite high. With the runes imprinted, the flow of spiritual power is equivalent to driving a formation to use an artifact. And the ancient demon runes are powerful, far beyond what ordinary artifacts can compare to. I took out a high-grade Dharma sword to test it, but only a clanging sound was heard. There wasn't a single scratch on my body. Artifacts of the same level can't hope to make a dent in me. This commotion startled Lu Changshou, who thought someone had broken into the room to attack me. I quickly explained that I was testing a refined Dharma sword. With the 10-finger runes imprinted, my body tempering has reached the next level. I feel a massive force flowing through my whole body. Early stage of the 8th level of body tempering. The only thing to worry about is the high consumption. But fortunately, I don't need to fight much, and I can use the storage method to seal my spiritual power. By sealing enough spiritual power in my body, and drawing it out when needed, I won't have to worry about consumption. I meditated in seclusion. Except for meal times, I was storing spiritual power. It took me 3 days to store spiritual power in every part of my body. Only then did I stop. I feel that, even though I'm only at the 8th level of ki refining and body tempering, even an ordinary 9th level practitioner might not be my match. I shouldn't be weaker than an average ancient demon now, right? But I'll only know for sure after verification. Niu Wendao, that ancient demon, can kill enemies above his level. He doesn't take the 9th level of ki refining seriously at all. I left the room to get some fresh air. I glanced at the old willow tree. When I have the chance, I'll imprint runes for him too. But the old willow tree is still too weak now. He can't support the rune imprints. Having just stepped onto the path of cultivation, the old willow tree is barely at the 1st level of ki refining. In the early stage, even a few random mortals could chop him down. Saying it's at the early 1st layer is already giving too much credit. Both Liu Shan and Lu Chang aren't here. Only Liu Qingyu is cultivating in the courtyard. Fellow cultivator Qingyu and Elder Liu have also left. Yeah, they went to watch Niu Wendao sweep through Zhongtai City. The younger generation went as well. Niu Wendao is rampaging through Zhongchongqing. What exactly happened with the younger generation? Not long after you went into seclusion, many more disciples of the city lord's residence and the 3 major families died. All killed by Niu Wendao. There's a rumor that Niu Wendao looked down on allying with the city lord, mocking the city lord for wishful thinking, trying to form an alliance with him. Is that true? Even though Niu Wendao is a demon and doesn't understand a lot of things, making an enemy for no reason like that isn't something he'd do. He shouldn't do that. He offended the 3 major families, and also the city lord. Now he's provoked all the major powers in Zhongyang City. Let alone Niu Wendao. Even his master Bai Yuquan wouldn't dare to do this. Not even if Bai Yuquan himself came. Later, Niu Wendao showed up and denied all that.
He said the city lord tried to have him ambushed.
He was even injured. He's been recovering ever since. Now it's impossible to tell who's telling the truth. We definitely can't go to Lingshu Cave Heaven. If they run into Changchun, without that birthmark on their faces, they'd be in real danger. Even Liu Shan wants to throw in with Niu Wendao. But trouble keeps following Niu Wendao too. If you join Linsu Cave Heaven now, you probably wouldn't even know what killed you someday. I'm really glad I went with Nikiu. My energy didn't stay with Lin Jianfeng either. Now Lin Jianfeng is basically split in two factions. The Changchun faction and the Niu Wendao faction. Head to head, Niu Wendao is obviously stronger. But when it comes to smarts and tricky moves, Changchun wins hands down. So the thing with Niu Wendao fighting Zhongyan this time, it can't be happening in the city, right? Of course not. Niu Wendao is fighting them outside the city. Lingshu Cave Heaven also sent Foundation establishment experts. Powerful ones came. But it's agreed no Foundation establishment stage will participate. Without Foundation establishment power, Niu Wendao should be able to escape. Probably. Where exactly is it happening? I'm going to join the fun too. Up north by the city wall. Outside the city gate, want to come with me? You should get some rest. Senior brother is still practicing Qi, and someone needs to stay here to keep watch. I'll be back for mealtime. After I finished speaking, I left Qingliu courtyard, took out a black robe from my storage bag and put it on, headed for the North City gate. There were already crowds of cultivators standing atop the North City wall. Even the city gate was packed with people. These people sure love excitement. They really enjoy watching fights. I squeezed into the crowd with some effort and climbed up to the city wall. Cultivators around me were clearly annoyed. I showed my token without hesitation. Lingshu Cave Heaven.
Disciple.
All the cultivators around me instantly smiled and made space for me. The battle below had already started. Nearly 100 key refining cultivators were fighting a blue ox. The blue ox was radiating dazzling golden light all over. It stood up on two hooves. Its front limbs had already turned into arms, swinging an iron staff, sweeping in all directions. Still couldn't fully transform into human form, only partially changing its body. The key refining cultivators didn't leave their formation, trying to limit Niu Wendao's strength. Too bad this formation is still not enough to contain Niu Wendao. Every sweep of that iron staff unleashed countless flashes. Any cultivator who touched it was injured, so no one dared to block it head-on. Watching made my heart pound. Half of these cultivators are at the peak 9th level of key refining. There are 7 or 8 like that. Niu Wendao alone is holding off all these cultivators, and still has the upper hand. A true ancient demon bloodline. Don't be rash, everyone. No matter how strong Niu Wendao is, his energy will run out eventually. We're just using the formation to wear him down. Yeah, drain his spiritual power. No way he can fight forever. Despicable coward. Niu Wendao roared with anger. Didn't expect this bunch to play tricks like that. The iron staff in his hand shone with a blinding light. He charged at the cultivator who'd spoken first, leapt high into the air, and smashed his staff down. The cultivator's face changed, and he quickly retreated. A golden barrier lit up from within his body, protecting him. A wave of energy erupted instantly. Thick smoke covered the view. The surrounding cultivators were all blasted back. Niu Wendao was knocked back as well. When the dust settled, the energy wave faded, and the golden barrier still guarded the cultivator. Without that protective treasure, I would have finished you. Niu Wendao gritted his teeth. A cultivator sneered and said, "You don't have a sect-given protective treasure. How about you throw yours away, and I throw mine away too? And we keep fighting? Your shamelessness surprises even me. If I toss it, wouldn't some hidden arrow take the chance to kill me? No one would ever find out who did it. Don't accuse us like that." They wouldn't dare to kill Niu Wendao, but a sneak attack to cripple him? That they would try. Once he's severely wounded, someone will step in to finish him off, like someone up on Changchun's city wall. Hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. Good thing Niu Wendao isn't completely dumb. If he really gave up his protective treasure, That would just be suicide. Even though Niu Wendao has the advantage, these people also have protective treasures. So the battle is at a stalemate, and no one can get the upper hand. The cultivators are just dragging it out, hoping to wear him down. Niu Wendao has clearly caught on to their plan, and is getting frustrated. He swings his iron staff over and over. The staff flashes growing stronger. He unleashes 36 blows in a row, with constant booms. Niu Wendao is panting heavily, but still can't break through their defense. You really are shameless. Who's shameless here? You're just a bull demon relying on brute strength. A demon is a demon. A hot-headed brute. And you call us shameless. Cultivators all spoke up, trying to scramble his mind. A ferocious light flashed in Niu Wendao's eyes. He stomped his hooves, the ground shattered, and dust flew everywhere. A powerful aura burst out. An ancient atmosphere rippled out. Terrifying strength shot into the sky. Like some ancient being awakening from ages past. A jungle world. Niu Wendao's muscles bulged all over, his eyes glowing blood red, and a massive blue ox phantom appeared behind him. The ancient demon bloodline is pushing his limits. He has activated his bloodline for foundation establishment. The cultivators spoke with grave expressions. Ancient demon bloodline unleashed. Niu Wendao's aura nearly doubled, almost reaching the foundation establishment stage. But it's only almost. He couldn't break this final barrier. Still at key refining. The bloodline resurgence won't last long. A peak 9th layer key refining cultivator shouted. He pushed the spiritual power inside him to the limit. The formation began operating. The ground flew up, like a quagmire. Niu Wendao's feet were restrained. Countless cultivators formed a formation. Their spiritual power converged into one. At the same time, they prepared to cast their sword technique. Niu Wendao swung his iron staff to the sky. Spiritual energy arced around his body like electricity. With a sudden burst of strength, he struck down. Break for me! A strike empowered by his bloodline. The turbulent ground suddenly stopped. A terrifying force erupted from Niu Wendao's center. Dozens of sword rays shattered in an instant. Several cultivators immediately spat out blood and were sent flying. The peak 9th layer key refining cultivators also had a change in expression. Their figures slid backward. The ground caved in. The shockwaves swept over 100 meters. One cultivator after another looked at their own barrier in disbelief. The barrier was still there, but hairline cracks appeared, and even a tiny hole. Niu Wendao's power pierced through the barrier. Everyone looked up in astonishment. Niu Wendao's iron staff was now longer. Its spearhead radiated terrifying power. A foundation establishment level artifact. The cultivators' faces turned solemn. They finally understood how Niu Wendao broke the barrier. Niu Wendao panted heavily. He held the artifact spear in one hand. Though his bull eyes were bloodshot, he hadn't lost control. The phantom blue ox behind him was now dim and nearly faded. I'll say it again. I didn't kill anyone from your family. It was your people who tried to harm me in secret. Niu Wendao said coldly. Suddenly, the sound of something slicing through the air rang out. A chilling arrow shot rapidly from afar, aimed straight at Niu Wendao. You're despicable! Niu Wendao's expression changed. He raised his spear to block it. But his body suddenly swayed, and he almost fell. His strength was exhausted from that last blow. No, someone's trying to kill Niu Wendao. Damn it, we can't let Niu Wendao die. All the foundation establishment cultivators turned pale. If Niu Wendao dies, Lingshu Cave Heaven will be furious. They'll be implicated too. But now it was too late. A sword rang out with a clear clang. A long sword shot across the sky like a meteor. It crashed into the cold arrow. With a crack, the sword shattered instantly. It was no match for the cold arrow. Luckily, the arrow paused ever so slightly. its trajectory veered off, buying Niu Wendao a moment. Niu Wendao quickly retreated. A golden shield also flared up around him. The arrow pierced the shield, penetrated Niu Wendao's arm, and embedded into the ground. Though injured, it wasn't fatal. Niu Wendao breathed a sigh of relief. But the next second, the arrow flew up once more and attacked Niu Wendao again. Luckily, the Foundation Establishment formation arrived just in time. Torrential true essence surged forth, shielding Niu Wendao and enveloping the arrow. "Wendao, come with me." A Foundation Establishment cultivator from Lingshu Cave Heaven immediately grabbed Niu Wendao and vanished from sight in an instant. Up on the city wall, I left as well. The surrounding cultivators asked in confusion, "Where did that black-clad Lingshu Cave Heaven disciple go?" "No clue. I only saw him throw a sword. Then he was gone."